Chapter 1410, Red Sun. Emperor Tianlong looked furious and clenched his fists. The area around him shook, he was that furious. Emperor Tianlong was incredibly proud of his 9 princes, for he had spent so much time raising them. He thought they'd be the future of Tianlong Divine Castle. However, during that meeting of the emperors, Lin Feng had already killed 4 of them. Now, Tianlong Divine Castle only had 5 princes left, while Tiantai still had 12 direct disciples. After Tiantai, it was the Qi clan's turn, but each time it was their turn the Qi clan's people looked embarrassed, their stomachs hurt even. Emperor Qi looked at Lin Feng and thought, "You'll die during the next round." Lin Feng didn't know what Emperor Qi was thinking. He was just watching the battles. He loved watching battles, especially when cultivators at the top of the Zun Qi layer fought. Their abstruse energies were extremely powerful, seeming capable of destroying the earth. He also loved watching Ho Qinglin and Qi Qianyun's battle. I could die if I faced such cultivators, thought Lin Feng. If he faced a cultivator at the top of the Zun Qi layer with level 9 abstruse energies, he'd be doomed. He'd have no way to win. He could fight against cultivators of lower levels who had level 8 abstruse energies, but that was already very difficult. Besides, some extremely strong cultivators at the top of the Zun Qi layer could also control holy marks and condense them into abstruse energies. Lin Feng also found out that the way people controlled the force of the earth and sky was related to their cultivation level. The stronger they were, the better they could control the force of the earth and the sky. There were exceptions, of course, like Yunfei Yang. 10 rounds after, it was Lin Feng's turn again and Tianlong Divine Castle's people were quivering. Lin Feng jumped onto the battle stage and pointed at the 9th prince. Then he shouted, "Come and die." Grr! Emperor Tianlong was going insane. He knew that Lin Feng was going to kill as many princes as possible. The 9th prince walked towards the battle stage. If he didn't manage to escape, he'd die. There was no suspense. Lin Feng immediately cast a curse spell on him and then used his sword filled with immortal energies to kill him. In a short time, the 9th prince was dead, lying on the battle stage. After Lin Feng killed the 9th prince, he went back to the top of the mountain and sat down cross-legged. Because Tiantai only had few people, he had already battled 3 times, but it was probably the last time he'd fight. The Qi clan had been destroyed and Tianlong Divine Castle didn't have many fighters left. As expected, Lin Feng didn't have the chance to fight a 4th time. Finally, the 3rd round was over. There were 22 groups, each group now had less than 20 people. There were about 200 people left. Actually, since the Qi clan had been destroyed, it could be considered that there were only 21 groups left. Tianlong Divine Castle only had 7 people left, while the Xikong clan only had 8 people left, and the Wen clan had 9. Emperor Qi opened his eyes, he looked especially upset. "Emperor Yu whispered, Emperor Qi is going to make the rules so that we have a disadvantage in the next round." Emperor Tianlong's eyes are twinkling, which must mean that Emperor Qi and Emperor Tianlong are talking right now, explained Mu Chen. "If cultivators at the top of the Zun Qi layer and the others are separated, we won't have any problem. If he wants to do something against us, he probably won't separate them anymore. After all, we only have Qinglin left. Emperor Qi will definitely cancel that rule," said Emperor Yu indifferently. "Everybody, to be fair, everybody can rest for an hour and then we'll talk about the rules of the 4th round then," said Emperor Qi. The crowd didn't say anything. Emperor Qi gave them some time to rest. Some people were happy, even the strong cultivator sat down cross-legged and recovered. Lin Feng walked to Meng Qing and Qiu Yuxian and sat down between them. They didn't talk, they enjoyed the calmness. Lin Feng was happy to rest too. Everybody had thought he was dead. But now they were together and they were happy. Lin Feng put his arm around their necks and caressed them calmly. "How beautiful," whispered Qiu Yuxian. The sun was rising and it was a magnificent red. The moon and the sun were together in the sky. Lin Feng stretched out his hands to sense the warmth on his hands. Sometimes, he enjoyed being a cultivator for it allowed him to sense the strength of the sun. Back then, he used to attract the strength of the sun using his cosmos burning sun technique, but it was so weak. The red sun is beautiful, but not as much as you girls, said Lin Feng smiling. Meng Qing and Qiu Yuxian smiled back at them. They all wished they could stay like that, watching the sunrise. Qiu Yuxian whispered, Lin Feng, I wish we could stay like this forever. Indeed, me too, said Lin Feng smiling, but he knew the cultivation world was cruel. Who could enjoy a life like this all the time? In the continent of the 9 clouds, once I become extremely strong, we'll do this all the time, said Lin Feng. Meng Qing and Qiu Yuxian smiled and leaned against Lin Feng while continuing to watch the sunrise. Chapter 14:11, Group Fight. The sun was rising, as 1 hour quickly passed. At that moment, Lin Feng pulled away his hands from Qiu Yuxian and Meng Qing and slowly turned around. There was a silhouette, it was the purple-eyed young man. He had been staring at him, but when Lin Feng turned around, he stopped looking at Lin Feng. Lin Feng decided to walk towards him. What are you doing? Asked the purple-eyed young man. I want to challenge you to a battle, just you and I. This has nothing to do with Tiantai, said Lin Feng. The purple-eyed young man was feeling uncomfortable. I refuse, said the purple-eyed young man. Fighting against Lin Feng would be inviting death. Refuse? You have no choice though, said Lin Feng. We are both disciples of Tiantai, so I won't kill you. Instead, I'll just cripple your cultivation, said Lin Feng. A gigantic demon hand appeared and oppressed the purple-eyed young man, then thunders boomed around them. Piss off, shouted the purple-eyed young man furiously. Purple chi emerged from the purple-eyed young man's eyes. Lin Feng saw this and frowned, then he closed his eyes. Die. Lin Feng sensed some scary energies and opened his eyes again. Now, the purple-eyed young man was holding a sword. Stop, shouted Lin Feng, furiously releasing demonic intent. The demonic intent echoed inside the purple-eyed young man's brain, making him stop moving for just a second. Then a gigantic hand slapped his face. You're also a member of the Imperial Assassin Union. Who are they and who is your boss? Imperial Assassin Union. Tiantai's people were all staring at the purple-eyed young man now. Was he actually a member of the Imperial Assassin Union? Ha, Lin Feng, you'll die, shouted the purple-eyed young man, furiously releasing as much qi as he could. Lin Feng moved back and released some sword qi. He quickly lacerated the purple-eyed young man, who then collapsed and died. How cruel, thought Lin Feng. The Imperial Assassin Union had been trying to kill Lin Feng for a long time, but each time the people who tried to kill him weren't that strong. Brother. Lin Feng walked to Mu Chen and frowned. Did Mu Chen know anything about the Imperial Assassin Union? Lin Feng, have you met assassins before? Asked Mu Chen. A member of the Qi clan during the first round, Qi Qianren. They had a Qi I had already seen, replied Lin Feng. Mu Chen frowned and whispered, don't think about it too much now. First, let's see how we're going to deal with the Emperor Qi's rules. Alright, said Lin Feng nodding. I thought about the rules for a while. Since we have 200 people left, only 100 can remain at the end of the meeting of the emperors. If we do one-on-ones, it'll be annoying and boring, so let's do a group fight instead. Everybody will go onto the battle stage and fight until 100 people are left. I will say stop when there are only 100 people left, and when I say stop, everybody must stop. What do the other emperors think? Said Emperor Qi. Tiantai's people understood that it was completely pitted against them. There would be no separation between cultivators at the top of the Zun Qi layer and the others anymore. 100 people have to be left during the last round? Lin Feng was surprised. There was something secret about the finalists, otherwise, why would cultivators of the 4th-5th Zun Qi layer compete with cultivators at the top of the Zun Qi layer? Maybe, when that round finishes, we'll get something, thought Lin Feng. Emperor Tianlong and Emperor Sikong immediately agreed. Tianlong had been waiting for such an opportunity to kill Tiantai's cultivators, especially Lin Feng. Finally, such an opportunity had come. Tianlong Divine Castle had 7 people left, 4 of whom were cultivators at the top of the Zun Qi layer and 3 of them were medium-level Zun cultivators. There was also a terrifyingly strong cultivator of the 9th Zun cultivator to deal with. I don't agree. A group battle would be too dangerous for some people only, who are also very talented, said Emperor Devamara. Emperor Devamara knew that Tianlong Divine Castle and the Qi clan wanted to destroy Tiantai. Tiantai had 11 incredible disciples, but Ho Qing Lin was the only cultivator at the top of the Zun Qi layer. Emperor Devamara didn't want Lin Feng to die though. Of course, not because Lin Feng was so strong, but because Lin Feng would succeed and he would someday be a great ally. If you don't dare then piss off, said someone aggressively. Surprisingly, it was Emperor Peng. The 3 other groups from the bestial part of Ba Huang had repeatedly attacked them during the previous round, but the bestial imperial palace still had 8 incredible cultivators. Even if they weren't great oriental greenfinch rocks, at least, they had an incredible bloodline and were very talented. Emperor Peng was very confident with these rules. I agree too, said the emperor from the godly Xiaoyao sect. Finally, amongst the 22 emperors, 13 of them had agreed, and with Emperor Qi, that made 14. Hehe, 13 people agreed with my rules, that's more than half, so it means we can use them. Everybody will get on the battle stage, and when 100 people are eliminated, the battle will stop, said Emperor Qi smiling in a cold way. Alright, please, everybody get on stage. Once I shout start, you can start fighting, said Emperor Qi. He didn't care about all those people because the Qi clan wasn't going to fight, it couldn't get any worse for him. Arg, Tiantai, shouted someone from Tianlong Divine Castle. The second prince started running while releasing bestial Qi. He had held himself back for too long and now, he could finally let it all out. Lin Feng, die, shouted the third prince as well. Explosions sounded as he landed on the battle stage in an aggressive manner. They all didn't hide their true intentions at all, they wanted to kill Lin Feng. Those rules are not so good for Tiantai. All the people from Tianlong Divine Castle wanted to get their revenge. Lin Feng had killed 3 princes already. Important note from the translator, it seems like the author got confused, there were 9 princes, then he said Lin Feng had killed 3, then he said 5 were left and said Lin Feng had killed 4, now he's saying 6 are left again. Lin Feng, they'll kill you first, said Mu Chen. It was getting dangerous for even Mu Chen. Tianlong Divine Castle still had 4 cultivators at the top of the Zun Qi layer and they were all terrifyingly strong. Ho Qing Lin had eliminated a few cultivators at the top of the Zun Qi layer, but Tianlong Divine Castle still had 4 left. I know. Lin Feng nodded back. We'll fight together, that way they won't have a chance to kill you, said Tian Qi. After the beginning of the battle, everybody follow me, said Ho Qing Lin, jumping onto the stage. Then, the 11 disciples from Tiantai went to the stage together, all looking fearless. Boom! A demonic shadow appeared from Lin Feng's body and demon qi rose to the skies. Lin Feng's eyes became pitch black and black clouds quickly rolled in. At the same time, he condensed demonic energies in his left hand, and in his right hand, he condensed a sword. He knew that that battle was going to be difficult, so he had to use his full strength at the beginning. Fight, shouted Emperor Qi. Suddenly, gigantic waves of energies rolled in the air and a terrifying hurricane invaded the valley. Chapter 14:12, Fighting Against the Third Prince. Bzzz. Terrifying energies coming from several different directions surrounded Lin Feng. The 4 cultivators at the top of the Zun Qi layer from Tianlong Divine Castle were attacking. They had immediately thrown themselves at Lin Feng. I'll fight against the cultivator of the 9th Zun Qi layer. Tian Qi, Ruo Xia, Wu Yong, Ban Ruo, you join hands and fight against the prince of the 8th Zun Qi layer. Qing Tian, Li Hen, Ku Kan, you fight against the one who has the strength at the top of the 7th Zun Qi layer. The others, help Lin Feng however you can, said Ho Qing Lin. The 4 cultivators at the top of the Zun Qi layer arrived at the same time, so Ho Qing Lin had no choice but to define a precise strategy. Alright, the people from Tiantai nodded and attacked at the same time. Die, shouted the 3rd prince. The space around him became distorted as his dragon-like arms aimed for Lin Feng. Roar! Xing Zhan shouted and then he turned into a gigantic, brutal beast. He used his horn to destroy the dragon-like arms. Mu Bei shouted at the same time and punched the air in the direction of the 3rd prince. Stone plates appeared, which then turned into large mountains. At the same time, Lin Feng moved as well using his agility technique. He quickly appeared in front of the 3rd prince, still holding his sword, in which he had now condensed immortal energies in. Roar! The 3rd prince roared. Several dragon illusions collided against the sword energies, throwing the battlefield into even more chaos. Die! The 3rd prince attacked the stone plates with his other arm, then more explosions ensued. Die! Lin Feng used his deadly demon punch, of which he had condensed immortal energies into. There were countless punches soaring in the air ahead of him. In his right hand, he continued condensing immortal energies into his sword, as well as slashing the air in front of him with it. The 3rd prince was surprised. Lin Feng's deadly demon punches and sword attacks were ceaseless. 4, 6, help me against those 2, shouted the 3rd prince. The 4th and 6th prince then ran towards Xing Zhan and Mu Bei as the 3rd prince focused on Lin Feng. The 3rd prince rose up in the air and a gigantic hand moved towards Lin Feng. Then, a gigantic pair of dragon claws protruded from the hand. He uses force as well, thought Lin Feng. His sword emitted whistling sounds, then metallic ringing sounds appeared as the claws and the sword collided. The claws were cut through. You'll die, shouted the 3rd prince. Rumbling sounds appeared and then more strength moved towards Lin Feng. Another pair of dragon claws aimed towards Lin Feng. Lacerate. Lin Feng's sword did not falter. Explosions and rumbling sounds ensued as the sword was destroyed. The dragon claws then continued moving towards Lin Feng's chest. Boom! Lin Feng joined his hands together and several deadly demon punches assaulted the dragon fists. A horrible strength penetrated into Lin Feng's arm and he was propelled backwards. His face turned deathly pale. The 3rd prince was a lot stronger than the 5th prince. He had broken through to the 7th Zun Qi layer and his abstruse energies were level 8. Each of his attacks were explosive and contained the force of the earth and sky. He was fixedly staring at the 3rd prince as he released even more demonic intent. I'll kill you, said Lin Feng. He also released death curse energies. Dream on, shouted the 3rd prince. His blood strength rolled in waves as a dragon appeared and oppressed the cursing energies. I've told you, you're definitely going to die, said the 3rd prince. His blood turned into a red dragon and coiled around his body. He was turning into a real dragon. Attack, shouted the 3rd prince, furiously raising his head to the skies. Furious sky-destroying dragon, shouted the 3rd prince while throwing himself at Lin Feng. Terrifying dragon claws lacerated the sky as they aimed for Lin Feng. Bzzz, dazzling immortal lights emerged and condensed his sword chi. Lin Feng attacked the dragon claws with his sword and surprisingly, it worked. He somehow managed to destroy the dragon claws. Boom, boom. Lin Feng continued ahead, cutting apart anything in his path. Ah, a horrible shriek spread in the air. A cultivator in the distance was accidentally struck by Lin Feng's sword and couldn't dodge it. He was immediately beheaded. You will die, shouted Lin Feng. Finally, his sword made its way to the 3rd prince. You can't affect my determination with your demonic intent, said the 3rd prince. His dragons continued roaring as they attacked the demonic intent. His cultivation was stable as he was much stronger than ordinary cultivators of the 8th Zun Qi layer. If he had only broken through to the 4th or 5th Zun Qi layer, Lin Feng might have managed to affect his determination. After I finish killing all the strong cultivators from Tianlong Divine Castle, I will kill the rest of you, said Lin Feng. I have only broken through to the 3rd Zun Qi layer, so I'll kill you all like insects in the future. Lin Feng's voice contained demon and cursing energies. You can't affect my determination and you won't kill anyone else after today. You will die by my hands now, said the 3rd prince. He was slowly walking towards Lin Feng, step by step. The 3rd prince used his strong determination to resist Lin Feng, improving his resilience that way. If he didn't have a powerful determination, how would he become an emperor? Even though you've broken through to the 7th Zun Qi layer, you still don't have the advantage. No matter what, I'll kill you, said Lin Feng. He also continued moving forwards and released sword qi. Even if you were a real demon, I'd still kill you, said the 3rd prince. Seemingly the force of the earth and sky around them seemed to be turning into dragons as well. Even a cultivator of the 7th Zun Qi layer would have died by that terrifying force. Chapter 14-13, Insane. Many people sensed the energies and turned their attention to them. They were surprised, not only had Lin Feng killed the 5th prince, now he was making things difficult for the 3rd prince. Burn! Flames appeared inside Lin Feng's pitch-black eyes. Lin Feng's sword was also emitting strident whistling sounds. He then made the demon fire go to his sword. Apart from demon fire, he also condensed destructive, desolate and death energies into it. Destructive energies can't make things decay. Lin Feng also added immortal abstruse energies. Roar! The 3rd prince shouted furiously. He was surrounded by force as he released dragon energies towards Lin Feng. Slash, slash, Lin Feng released his terrifying sword, immediately destroying the dragons. Force oppressed him, making the immortal energies fuse together with the sword even better. Roar, 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 the 3rd prince didn't want to let Lin Feng condense any more energy. His energies turned into a gigantic dragon once more, but this dragon then fused together with his spirit and moved towards Lin Feng. Die! A demon appeared behind Lin Feng. The demon and the sword moved towards the 3rd prince's dragon together. Boom, boom boom, boom, explosions sounded and the space around them was completely distorted. Lin Feng's arm, body, blood and spirit were all shaking violently, making him cough blood even. His sword was extremely solid though, it was as if the immortal energies had protected the sword. The sword energies had managed to penetrate the dragon's head. The gigantic dragon was crumbling apart. Roar! The dragon gave one last effort. Die! Shouted Lin Feng. Again, his sword and demonic energies dashed to the skies. At the same time, he was staring at his opponent, trying to damage his determination. A song suddenly started resonating in the 3rd prince's brain and terrifying cursing energies injured the dragon. The sword was now making its way down the dragon's body. That physical body was terrifying, just like a real dragon. Lin Feng's sword could have destroyed anyone, but the 3rd prince's dragon was incredibly resilient. Roar! The gigantic dragon's tail made a swing at Lin Feng. Lin Feng condensed sword energies in his other hand again. Explosions sounded and the energies released from the collision was overwhelming. No wonder those princes were Tianlong Divine Castle's trump cards. Even though the 3rd prince has only broken through to the 7th Zun Qi layer, he can easily kill cultivators of the 8th Zun Qi layer. Die! The dragon's tail swung again, this time towards Lin Feng's demon. Lin Feng released a deadly demon punch and the tail collided against it. Although his arm was sore, he didn't flinch. How could a demon king flinch? Arg! Lin Feng's demon king roared furiously. Lin Feng's strength became stronger with it as he continued growing taller. Die! More energies appeared, but those energies hadn't come from the 3rd prince. Lin Feng raised his head and saw someone with a terrifyingly sharp sword aimed at his head. Kill him! Shouted someone furiously. Lin Feng slowed down, like he was trapped in mud. Slash, slash, the terrifyingly sharp sword made Lin Feng tremble. That was an assassin's sword. Be careful, shouted someone to Lin Feng. 2 assassins from the Imperial Assassin Union were joining hands to fight Lin Feng. One of them was a strong cultivator from the Si Kong clan. Rise! Explosions and rumbling sounds shook the ground. A gigantic gravestone appeared which then enveloped Lin Feng inside. Mu Bei was trying to help Lin Feng. Break! Shouted the third prince. A gigantic dragon assaulted the gravestone, creating cracks as the sword neared. Desiccation and desolation, shouted Ku Kan. Now, Lin Feng was surrounded by desiccation and desolation energies. Sapta Adi Buddha Karasaniya. Ban Roa jumped onto a lion. He was holding a lotus in one hand and a sword in the other. You won't have a chance, shouted a voice. The second prince had arrived and was insanely attacking the gravestone. Stop him. Since you want to kill Lin Feng, you'll have to get past me, said Ho Ching Lin. He released sword reincarnation energies. In a flash, a gigantic hole, 10,000 meters wide, appeared and blocked them. What is he doing? Ho Ching Lin is insane, the crowd was crazed. Ho Ching Lin wanted to kill them all at once. Piss off, a strong cultivator from the Devamara Palace, was also appearing above Lin Feng. Celestial vision, die, shouted a strong cultivator from the Si Kong clan. Lin Feng's vision was suddenly blurry and the space around him was distorted. Lacerate. A Virokana sword moved towards the strong cultivator with the celestial vision. Tian Chi was surrounded by golden lights as he chanted mantras in a clear, melodious, pure, deep, far-reaching Brahma voice. He reinforced the gravestone which was protecting Lin Feng. Boom, 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 the third prince was going insane as he attacked the gravestone. More and more cracks began to cover the gravestone. Die! Ho Ching Lin pointed a finger at someone and suddenly, that cultivator was surrounded by reincarnation energies. Die! Shouted Ho Ching Lin furiously. Then that cultivator groaned and suddenly died. Die, die, die. Ching Lin continued releasing reincarnation energies which surrounded all the strong cultivators. At that moment, the gravestone became surrounded by golden energies. Those energies were actually an oppressive sword chi. Mu Bei could sense it, after all, he had made the gravestone. Brother, back, let them try, shouted Mu Bei as he ran back. The others were surprised, but they trusted him, so they also moved back. Let them die, brothers, shouted Mu Bei again. Everybody nodded and released energies. Tian Chi's gigantic Buddha moved towards a strong cultivator and crushed him. He died immediately. Tian Chi didn't know to which group that cultivator belonged, but it didn't matter, they needed 100 people to die before the round could finish. Chapter 14:14, Fighting Against the Third Prince Again. No matter what you try, you'll die eventually, shouted the second prince. Explosions sounded and the golden gravestone crackled more. At the same time, the third prince and his allies moved towards Lin Feng who was still hiding in the gravestone. Die, shouted the third prince. Lin Feng couldn't escape this time. There's a destructive death strength as well, thought the third prince. The hairs on his neck pricked up after he sensed that. Then, he saw a terrifying sword with an incredible amount of death energies. Immortal energy, he has been condensing sword and immortal energies inside, thought the third prince. He stopped attacking the tombstone at that moment. The others looked at Lin Feng, just as amazed. They wanted to run away from those incredible energies. Die, shouted Lin Feng furiously. He jumped out of the tombstone and a terrifying destructive sword filled with incredible energies invoked a tornado. Explode, shouted Lin Feng. Ah, no, shouted some people. The tornado exploded and those who were weaker immediately died. Roar, the second prince roared. His arm had crashed into the sword tornado as it exploded. Luckily, he had turned into a dragon, so he didn't die from it. The third prince was wounded, but he was still alive. "Kill the third prince," shouted someone. Ho Qinglin quickly released sword reincarnation energies which crashed onto the third prince. "Desiccation and desolation," shouted Ku Kan furiously. Then, the third prince felt his blood drying up. Tianlong also attacked, his mantras resonated in the third prince's head. They weren't giving him any time to react. "Save me," shouted the third prince furiously. He was slowly reverting back to his regular body. The second prince ran towards the third prince as fast as he could. The dragon crown prince also wanted to join in, but Ruo Xia, Ban Ruo, Li Hen, Wu Yong and the others joined hands to block them. Bzzz. Dazzling lights appeared in front of the second prince. Those dazzling lights turned into stars and blocked him. "Break!" shouted the second prince. He wanted to destroy the stars, but at the same time, Ho Qinglin's reincarnation sword crashed onto him. The third prince continued giving horrible shrieks as he was being attacked by all sorts of energies. Lin Feng continued attacking by releasing a dozen deadly demon punches at a time in the third prince's direction. "Piss off," the third prince was suffering too much, the pain was unbearable. Some of the deadly demon punches hit his arm, some others in his chest. A hole appeared in his chest and it was bleeding profusely. "Brother," shouted the second prince furiously, but the star's strength still prevented him from moving ahead. "Blood curse," said Lin Feng. He jumped above the third prince and condensed a sword filled with death energies. "Brothers, let's join hands to kill that dragon. We can't give him any time to recover," said Lin Feng. Tian Qi, Mu Bei, and the others nodded. Lin Feng's death sword continued moving ahead as gigantic stone plates formed, and Tian Qi's gigantic Virokana sword threatened third prince together. "No!" shouted the third prince furiously. He looked desperate as the sword lights and the stone plates crashed into his body. Blood gushed and then his body exploded. "Brother!" shouted the second prince. He continued to break through the starlights. By this time Mo Qing Tian's face was deathly pale. He recalled his celestial book spirit and the starlights disappeared. "Lin Feng!" shouted Emperor Tianlong from the top of his peak. He had lost a son again. The third prince was the one who understood the force of the earth and sky the best. He could have become an emperor soon, but now he was dead because of Lin Feng. 5 princes were dead already. The 5th prince, the 7th prince, the 8th prince and the 9th prince, and now the 3rd prince was dead too. After killing the 3rd prince, Tian Qi and the others turned their attention to the 2nd prince and surrounded him. The Xikong clan, the Church of Desire and the Abyss of Sufferings all have assassins who want to kill me. Very good, thought Lin Feng. He used his agility technique while condensing death and sword energies again. He immediately attacked a cultivator from the Church of Desire and cut him in two. "It feels so good to kill," said Ho Qinglin, his eyes were filled with murder. Reincarnation, die, terrifying reincarnation energies appeared and sealed the area around him. 2 people were killed, immediately drowning into the abyss of reincarnation. "Dodge!" shouted a strong cultivator from the Xikong clan furiously. Then, Lin Feng moved towards 2 strong cultivators from the Xikong clan. He had become a giant after fusing with his demonic image. "Lin Feng, try if you dare," shouted a cultivator at the top of the Zun Qi layer from the Xikong clan. He then started running towards Lin Feng. "Why wouldn't I dare?" Lin Feng glanced at him with his pitch-black pupils and continued running ahead. "Lacerate," shouted Lin Feng. Then he immediately killed another cultivator. How strong! He was killing those people as if they had been ordinary Zun cultivators. "Die!" shouted Lin Feng furiously. He condensed curse energies and cursed the other cultivator. His opponent suddenly stopped moving, and then a sword fell on him. In the air, the cultivator at the top of the Zun Qi layer from the Xikong clan looked upset. He yelled to Lin Feng, "The Xikong clan will definitely kill you." "Brother, kill him," said Lin Feng. That cultivator raised his head and saw Ho Qing Lin's reincarnation soared above him. His facial expression changed drastically at that second. Die. The cultivator at the top of the Zun Qi layer from the Wen clan, against whom he was initially fighting, released abstruse energies and wreaked havoc on his internal organs. No, shouted that cultivator furiously. He wanted to escape, but Lin Feng appeared in front of him and smiled coldly. Even if the Xikong clan kills me, you will not be there to see it. Lin Feng released death and sword energies, easily finishing him off. Lin Feng glanced at the crowd in a cold way. So many people had died already, there would soon be only 100 left. Lin Feng ran towards a cultivator from the Church of Desire. Once he saw Lin Feng, he wanted to escape, but he was overwhelmed by the immortal energies. Lin Feng's desolate Xana quickly cut off his leg, then he caught up with him and killed him. Lacerate. Lin Feng continued releasing energies and his sword collided against something extremely hard, something golden. Golden claws. Those golden energies were looming over Lin Feng's head. A great oriental greenfinch rock. Lin Feng joined his hands and attacked the golden energies. The great oriental greenfinch rock moved back and stared at Lin Feng in a cold way. Chapter 14-15, Threat, he thinks he's a supernatural bird. Lin Feng continued running ahead while releasing demonic intent and singing his 9 netherworlds demonic song. Caw, the bird released bestial chi and flapped his wings powerfully. His claws were sharp and dazzling as they moved towards Lin Feng. The great oriental greenfinch rock was very fast. He had only broken through to the 4th Zun Qi layer, but he had the speed of a cultivator of the 7th or 8th Zun Qi layer. He knew speed abstruse energies, of course. His gold abstruse energies were level 7 as well. Lacerate. Immortal and sword energies whistled furiously, digging into people's ears. A wound appeared on the bird's wings and some golden blood even dripped, but the bird continued flying towards Lin Feng. Bzzz. Lin Feng dodged back, the wings passed over him by only a few millimeters. They left a golden trail in the air as they passed. The great oriental greenfinch rock is becoming even more terrifying, thought Lin Feng. He released demonic intent and borrowed the force of the earth and sky as he ran towards the bird. I'll kill that supernatural bird, shouted Lin Feng. Lin Feng had swords in both hands. The bird flapped his wings, which again turned into terrifying and dazzling sharp blades. They collided against Lin Feng's death sword with a metallic ringing sound. The great oriental greenfinch rock has some great defenses. I can't use death or sword energies to deal with him. I need to injure his organs internally, thought Lin Feng. Lin Feng's demon silhouette appeared, roared furiously, and jumped forwards. Lin Feng then released deadly demon punches at the great oriental greenfinch rock. Lin Feng moved like the wind and appeared above the bird as he was dealing with the punches. He wanted to attack the bird from behind, but the great oriental greenfinch rock slightly descended from the sky. He still hadn't managed to kill him. The great oriental greenfinch rock had great speed and defense. Lin Feng had already killed the cultivator of the 8th Zun Qi layer, but that bird still remained. Die. Lin Feng sensed a strength from behind him. He joined his hands together and released sharp sword energies behind him. That cultivator's face turned deathly pale as Lin Feng's sword lacerated him. At the same time, many other people were still fighting. Ho Qing Lin was fighting like a madman against the cultivators from Tianlong Divine Castle. Stop, shouted Emperor Qi from the top of the Qi Tian Peak. The great oriental greenfinch rock stopped moving too, glaring at Lin Feng. Lin Feng also recalled his demon energies. Emperor Qi was disappointed. He had made those rules so that the cultivators from Tiantai would die, but in the end they had surprised everyone again. We'll fight again, said the great oriental greenfinch rock to Lin Feng. Die. Shouted Lin Feng furiously, startling the great oriental greenfinch rock who suddenly moved back. Lin Feng looked at him mockingly. I wouldn't mind eating some roasted chicken, said Lin Feng. Then, he turned around and walked away, ignoring the bird. The bird was obstinate and unruly, but Lin Feng didn't hate him as much as the cultivators from Tianlong Divine Castle or from the Qi clan. Lin Feng went back to his group of friends and looked at Emperor Qi. He looked angry as he announced, all the emperors, you clearly understand who qualified. Only 4 of Tianlong Divine Castle's people were left, the Crown Prince and the second Prince who were cultivators at the top of the Zun Qi layer, then the 4th and 6th Prince who were cultivators of the 6th Zun Qi layer. Lin Feng was still alive, so he was qualified as well. Tiantai had 11 qualified cultivators, which was a lot compared to several other groups. All right. Disperse, said Emperor Qi indifferently. Then, he turned around and jumped onto the golden crow which was pulling his carriage. He didn't want to spend another second there. All the members of the Qi clan had been eliminated, so he had no reason to stay. Disperse? Lin Feng was confused. Was that all? What was the purpose of the meeting of the emperors? Many other people were like Lin Feng, they were wondering what was going on. What was the purpose of the meeting of the emperors? Let's go back, said Ho Qinglin. Then, the cultivators from Tiantai went back to Emperor Yu's side. Lin Feng turned around and looked at Jun Mo Shi, Yi Ren Lei and all the others he knew. He nodded at them and then left. There were many things he didn't understand, but he was convinced Emperor Yu would tell them everything soon. Lin Feng, you'll definitely die someday, said Emperor Tianlong aggressively. Then, the emperor went back to his dragon carriage and left. No wonder Emperor Tianlong is such a piece of trash. He dares threaten young cultivators openly, said Emperor Yu calmly. This infuriated Emperor Tianlong even more. Let's go back to Tiantai, said Emperor Yu to Tiantai's people. Then, a cloud appeared and everybody jumped on it. Meng Qing and Qiu Yu Xian were next to Lin Feng. Apart from the 11 cultivators who had qualified, many of those who were eliminated were still there, alive. Emperor Yu couldn't talk about the secrets of the meeting of the emperors in front of them. At some point, oppressive black clouds appeared blocked their way back to Tiantai. Emperor Yu opened his eyes and the white clouds stopped. Emperor Qi, we haven't made it back to Tiantai yet. If you can't hold back anymore, I don't mind organizing a battle of the emperors, said Emperor Yu. Emperor Qi again, thought the crowd. Emperor Qi was furious because he had lost. Did he want to kill Tiantai's cultivators using terrifying emperor's methods? Hee, I just came to tell you one thing. Amongst the 11 outstanding disciples of Tiantai, I wonder how many will survive in the near future. With that, the cloud turned into a silhouette and disappeared. They couldn't see him, but they had recognized Emperor Qi's voice. He's threatening us. Tiantai's disciples realized. In the future, when you meet people from the Qi clan, just kill them, said Emperor Yu in a calm and serene way. Then, the cloud continued moving forwards. Chapter 14-16, The Magic Gate. A group of people were riding a magnificent cloud in the sky above Tiantai. The teacher and our disciples are back. Many people came back, that must mean they won, thought the people of Tiantai. Not everyone could participate at the meeting of the emperors, so they couldn't wait to hear about the results. Go down, said Emperor Yu indifferently. Those who weren't direct disciples descended from the sky. Meng Qing and Qiu Yu Xian were annoyed because they weren't direct disciples themselves. Teacher, shouted Lin Feng. Emperor Yu knew what Lin Feng was going to ask. He smiled and said, they can stay with you. Thank you, teacher. Lin Feng bowed and smiled. Emperor Yu looked at Tiantai's people and said, the 11 direct disciples were all qualified and had amazed the whole province. I hope that someday, more of you will be able to become direct disciples and that the people of Ba Huang will know your name as well. I hope that someday, you'll reach the clouds. Also, be careful of people from the Qi clan and Tianlong Divine Castle. We understand, said everybody bowing before Emperor Yu, who then nodded back at them. Then, the cloud with the remaining people on it disappeared. What kind of place is the sky above the sky? Is it an empty space castle? Guessed some people. At that moment, Emperor Yu and the others made it to the sky above the sky. It's been a few hundreds of years already, but I don't know when it'll develop, said Emperor Yu, gazing into the distance and smiling indifferently. A few hundreds years. Lin Feng asked, Teacher, is the sky above the sky your small world? Emperor Yu looked at Lin Feng, he looked both wise and calm. He smiled and nodded, Indeed, this is my small world, one of them at least. One of them. Lin Feng repeated. Emperor Yu had taken him for a walk in that small world before. Many people already lived there. If Emperor Yu had created it a few hundreds of years ago, 1,000 years later, it'd probably be incredible. Then what about 10,000 years later? It would be filled with magnificent landscapes. So basically, the Jade Emperor's palace was not a small world, the mysterious world holding it was a small world. The palace is just a symbol of that small world, just like Tiantai is a symbol of the sky above the sky, thought Lin Feng. Lin Feng, I told you that after you broke through to the Zun Qi layer, I'd give you an opportunity which could change your life. Now you have come back, said Emperor Yu smiling. He didn't hide anything from the others. All the people there, apart from Meng Qing and Xiu Yu Xian, had also benefited from such an opportunity. The fact that Lin Feng was a direct disciple and had dazzled at the meeting of the emperors had something to do with that opportunity. Something that could change my life. Lin Feng was curious. Thank you very much, teacher. Alright, you move aside, said Emperor Yu to the others. Lin Feng is already terrifyingly strong and talented. With such an opportunity, he could become even stronger, said Xing Zhan while smiling fatuously. Emperor Yu shook his hand and a water crystal appeared in the air. Then, it slowly turned into a dazzling gate which could attract the stars. Emperor Shi and I obtained this treasure previously, but we don't know what it is. It seems like it has its own strength, but it also seems to be able to change people's destiny. It can steal the force of the earth and sky, allowing talented cultivators to improve. Emperor Shi and I rose thanks to it, explained Emperor Yu. Some people say grand talents mature slowly when they talk about us. I don't know if Emperor Shi and I are grand talents who matured slowly, but I know that we've been extremely lucky. To be honest, after leaving Tianqi, I practiced cultivation a lot and I killed millions of people, but I never stopped. I also participated in the meeting of the emperors and so on, however, I became an emperor only thanks to that item, said Emperor Yu, not hiding anything. Lin Feng, go inside. I hope it'll be as useful for you as it was me, said Emperor Yu smiling. Lin Feng nodded and walked through the gate, into the dazzling lights. Bzzz, the disciples couldn't even look at it, it was too dazzling. How strong, said Wu Yong, sighing. Lin Feng is extremely talented, said Mo Qing Tian. That treasure could show how talented people were in that the more talented someone was, the more dazzling the gate was. After Lin Feng entered, the gate became incredibly dazzling. Emperor Yu smiled happily. Then, the gate turned into a light and cleansed Lin Feng's body. How pleasant. What kind of terrifying treasure is that? Lin Feng closed his eyes and bathed in the lights. He had an incredible sensation, almost like an orgasm. It felt pleasant all over his body. He had the sensation his bones and flesh were changing, as well as his strength. It was even more efficient than bathing in the thunders. It's changing my physical body, ridding me of my imperfections, thought Lin Feng. No wonder Tiantai's direct disciples were all that strong. Their physical bodies had been changed through this process. To be a strong cultivator, a powerful physical body was essential. If I could constantly absorb these energies, that'd be great, thought Lin Feng. He knew it wasn't possible though. His blood started boiling and qi was rotating around him rapidly. The treasure was now modifying his blood, improving it. His blood was fusing together with the earth and sky. How incredible, what a perfect feeling. Roar, roar, dragon heads appeared around Lin Feng. All 9 of them looked ferocious. My spirit is being cleansed too, thought Lin Feng, astonished. 3 of the heads were different, there was a gigantic axe, a pair of silver wings and a shadow. His dragon chi was becoming stronger, Xian Yuan's axe was becoming more explosive, the silver wings were becoming more dazzling and the shadow was becoming even more intangible and silent. Chapter 14-17, a famous song. All the direct disciples were incredibly strong, however, after cleansing from those lights, they had all become even more extraordinary, especially their spirits. So much so that they could even compete with emperor's sons in terms of their spirit strength. At that moment, the lights became even more dazzling as a light descended from the sky. This was the most important part of the process. Lin Feng's soul was going to be cleansed with this. It was going to change his natural abilities. The gate was pulling strength from the earth and sky and cleansing Lin Feng's body with it. He could clearly sense that his soul was changing. Even his celestial book spirit was diffusing dazzling lights. Bzzz. At that moment, the light beam illuminated Lin Feng, but it couldn't pierce through his body and penetrate into his soul. Emperor Yu was surprised. How? The gate started shaking and emitting strange sounds. What's going on? Everybody was wondering. The lights dispersed after they met Lin Feng's body. They couldn't change his soul, but why? It hadn't happened like that with them. Recall it, said Mu Qin suddenly. Emperor Yu shook his hand and recalled the gate. At that moment, Lin Feng opened his eyes. What was going on? He had sensed that the lights wanted to cleanse his celestial book spirit, but when it tried, his celestial book spirit diffused dazzling lights and stopped it. Lin Feng, are you alright? Asked Emperor Yu. His silhouette flickered as ran over to Lin Feng. Kacha! Lin Feng clenched his fist, emitting loud crackling sounds. He felt so good, so comfortable. He felt perfect. I'm alright, I feel better than alright, said Lin Feng, smiling at Emperor Yu. Emperor Yu looked at the crystal and nodded. Did it have anything to do with Lin Feng's special body? It wouldn't even let the strength of the earth and sky modify it. Emperor Yu didn't ask anything. In the cultivation world, that kind of special body was extremely rare, it was legendary in fact. Back then, Emperor Yu wasn't sure, but now he was starting to believe it was true. You should rest these days next few days or practice cultivation. Don't leave the small world. Emperor Qi and Emperor Tianlong will be looking for you all, especially Lin Feng. When the right time comes, I'll come back to you, said Emperor Yu to the disciples. Then he disappeared. When the right time comes, he'll come back to us, whispered Lin Feng. Mu Qin smiled and said, Lin Feng, the meeting of the emperors isn't over yet. It's not over yet. Lin Feng was surprised. What was the real purpose of the meeting of the emperors? What was going to happen to the 100 people who had qualified? Lin Feng, how do you feel after having been in those lights? Asked the others. I feel extremely good, I feel a lot stronger. My physical body feels perfect while my spirit became stronger too. Now I can fuse together with the earth and sky even better. Replied Lin Feng honestly. He was just annoyed that he hadn't been able to finish the process, but he didn't think about it too much. The stronger the better now that we have many enemies, the Qi clan, Tianlong Divine Castle, the Si Kong clan. Even though we killed so many of their people, they still have many strong cultivators, especially the Qi clan and Tianlong Divine Castle, said Mu Bei. Besides, Lin Feng, your cultivation level is too low. You must level up for Emperor Tianlong and Emperor Qi won't hesitate to kill you if they see you in the future. I know, said Lin Feng nodding. Brother, our sisters are here with you, so spend some time with them. We won't bother you anymore. The days following this reprieve are going to be insane, said Xing Zhan. Then, they left. Lin Feng shrugged and smiled. Let's go and have a walk around the small world, said Lin Feng, taking Meng Qing and Qiu Yuexian's hands. That small world and the outside world were similar in many ways. There were clouds, trees, lakes, rivers, cities and cultivation resources. Their teacher was still developing that small world, so everything would be even more lively in the future. One day later, they were in a desolate area riding a white horse. Lin Feng, do you remember the first time I rode a horse? Asked Meng Qing. She was sitting in front of Lin Feng while he was holding her. Qiu Yuexian was behind him, leaning against him. Of course I do, back then, you almost cried because you were so scared, said Lin Feng, smiling in a resplendent way. He would always remember that day. You did that on purpose, said Meng Qing smiling. Is that so? I don't remember that part, said Lin Feng, smiling fatuously. Meng Qing rolled her eyes and turned her head around. Back then, you were holding me and singing songs too. Don't you want to sing a song for Yuexian now? Lin Feng didn't want to. Oh yes, please, said Qiu Yuexian smiling. Alright, but don't laugh at me, said Lin Feng, smiling happily. Then, he started singing a song, playing the flute, hair fluttering in the wind, drunk, winds rising and clouds scudding, lakes and rivers, resentment. 1,000 miles, a pale light, a smile, calmness and tranquility, tranquil water, 1,000 miles, bathing under the moon, growing old together, only the autumn moon knows that. 1,000 miles, bathing under the moon, growing old together, only the autumn moon knows that, whispered Meng Qing, smiling before adding, even though you're a really bad singer, the song is not bad. 1,000 miles, bathing under the moon, growing old together, only the autumn moon knows that. Meng Qing was wondering where that song came from. Qiu Yuexian hugged Lin Feng even tighter. She didn't want Lin Feng to leave her again. 3 days later, Lin Feng was under a waterfall. His eyes were closed as he was calmly studying that strength. Meng Qing and Qiu Yuexian were playing in the water. Sometimes they would glance over at Lin Feng. Lin Feng opened his eyes and gazed into the distance. His eyes looked sharp, but then he saw the girls and smiled. Lin Feng jumped into the water and hugged Meng Qing from behind, startling her. I'm clean already, said Meng Qing, pushing Lin Feng away and getting out of the water. Qiu Yuexian looked at him too and then turned her head away again. She even blushed. Lin Feng came to her and hugged her. He could feel her heart pounding. Qiu Yuexian, shouted Lin Feng. Qiu Yuexian looked at Lin Feng, her eyes were twinkling. You're really beautiful, said Lin Feng, suddenly kissing her. She also kissed him back passionately. Chapter 14:18, Cosmic Energies. Lin Feng was holding Qiu Yuexian in his arms, both of them were resting on a big stone. Qiu Yuexian was wearing her clothes, but they were soaked and transparent. Lin Feng caressed her skin, her breasts. Qiu Yuexian moaned, turning Lin Feng on. Lin Feng had become an expert at making love since he had been with Yi Renlei. He slowly took off her clothes, cherishing the view with each piece. Lin Feng caressed her everywhere. He kissed her lips, then he slowly kissed her everywhere, including her most sensitive spot. Her moans were bewitching. Qiu Yuexian was shivering with each of Lin Feng's movements. He was moving with more and more passion, but suddenly, a merciless ice-cold energy emerged. Boom! Lin Feng suddenly moved back as an ice-cold hand shot out. Lin Feng came back to his senses. Qiu Yuexian's face was now red from embarrassment. Lin Feng, I'm sorry. Qiu Yuexian shook her head. No problem, said Lin Feng. Qiu Yuexian's facial expression kept changing, one moment cold and the next hot. Lin Feng stretched out his hand and very careful and put on her clothes again. Lin Feng felt sad for her, but how could he help Qiu Yuexian solve that problem? He knew that Qiu Yuexian was in love with him, which is why she could control her merciless emotions around him, somewhat. Let's go into that cave and change your clothes, said Lin Feng while carrying her. Meng Qing looked at them and then looked at Lin Feng angrily. Lin Feng put Qiu Yuxian on the ground and walked over to Meng Qing, hugging her and saying, Meng Qing, when I become a cultivation emperor, I think we should have a child. What do you think? All right, replied Meng Qing, in a gentle and tender way, lowering her head. Qiu Yuxian was looking at them, but she didn't know what they were talking about. You're still this shy? Even though we've been together for so long. Lin Feng was mocking her. Meng Qing blushed even more after. Meng Qing rolled her eyes and Lin Feng smiled. He was becoming more perverted the older he got. After a short time, Qiu Yuxian changed into some new clothes. She had on a new blue dress. Meng Qing, Yuxian, I'll bring you to a special place, said Lin Feng, taking out the Jade Emperor's heart. Then, it became gigantic and turned into a palace. There were 2 doors he still hadn't opened. Now that he was so strong, he might be able to open them. But would there be anything good in them? Let's go, said Lin Feng, entering the palace with Qiu Yuxian and Meng Qing. The crowd saw Lin Feng enter, this time with 2 incredibly beautiful women. They used to be Gan Yu's heroes and Lin Feng was only an ordinary disciple from Tianqi. Lin Feng ignored them as he swallowed an abstruse tablet and chewed it. He brought Meng Qing and Qiu Yuxian to the doors he hadn't opened yet. Wait, I'll break it, said Lin Feng. Then, he used his deadly demon punch to break down one of the doors. Ancient scriptures. Lin Feng was surprised. There was a wooden table with ancient scriptures resting on it. They were surrounded by yellow qi and earth abstruse energies. Let's see what they are. The 3 of them entered the room. Apart from that book, there were marks on the walls. Emperor Yu had also carved such marks in his palace, back in Tiantai. Lin Feng looked at the book and suddenly felt like he was in a vast area. The ground beneath him was dusty and the area was filled with abstruse energies. After a short time, Lin Feng recalled his godly awareness and whispered, that's the first step of the book. Each step teaches cultivators about different territories. The Jade Emperor made that page to teach cultivators about Earth territories. Meng Qing, Qiu Yuxian, inspect at the book, said Lin Feng. Even if they didn't practice the powers taught in those books, they could still learn something from them. Lin Feng looked at the walls and analyzed them. The incredible gate could steal the strength of the earth and sky to cleanse my body, spirit, and soul. It also helped strengthen my relationship with the earth and sky. If I could understand how that works, I'd be even further ahead, thought Lin Feng. The Jade Emperor understood earth abstruse energies, so he had probably used them to create this palace. If my fire abstruse energies become cosmic energies, I could actually burn the earth and sky's energies, thought Lin Feng. He was starting to understand more thanks to the Jade Emperor's teachings. No wonder people who hadn't become cultivation emperors were still like insects. Emperors could use cosmic energies to reign over the earth and sky. But, if I fought against someone as strong as them and was able to condense cosmic energies, I'd need to create my own spells, skills and techniques still. I'd have to rely on my own special abilities, thought Lin Feng. He recalled when Emperor Yu saved Meng Qing, he had condensed the strength of the earth and the sky to incredible degree. He concluded from that if a cultivator didn't understand the strength of the earth and sky, they couldn't learn to use cosmic energies. No wonder his emperors had attached so much importance to the strength of the earth and sky. Emperor Yu and Emperor Shi had probably used the strength of the earth and sky to create the flight of stairs in Tiantai. Cosmic energies required high-level abstruse energies before they could be used to fuse together with the earth and sky. Understanding 10 types of abstruse energies is indeed incredible, it's like having a special kind of body. If I could level up all my abstruse energies to their highest degree, I'd be able to master so many types of cosmic energies, thought Lin Feng. If he managed to make his death abstruse energy become death cosmic energy, it'd be horrifying. He'd be able to make people grow old instantly and die, unless his opponent's cosmic energies were of the same level. Lin Feng stopped studying and turned around. Then he said to Meng Qing and Xiu Yu Xian, some powerful scriptures can help cultivators understand cosmic energies. Without these ancient scriptures, it must be difficult to become a cultivation emperor. Chapter 14-19, Fighting Against Emperor Yu. Let's go to the other door. Lin Feng took the ancient, imperial scriptures with him. He wasn't as surprised to find imperial scriptures anymore because he had found several already before. If it was anyone besides him, they'd be furious at Lin Feng's reactions. Many cultivators at the top of the Zun Qi layer only dreamt of having imperial scriptures. Lin Feng arrived in front of the last door and broke it down with sword energies. Even though that room had been sealed for many, many years, it was still clean inside. There was no dust and the walls were still shiny. Poor Jade Emperor, he hid so little that the door was even weaker than the previous one. The ancient scriptures were probably his most cherished treasures, thought Lin Feng, glancing around the room. There were 3 dazzling items, but Lin Feng didn't sense the qi of any imperial weapons. There was an armor set resting on a statue. It looked domineering and imposing, like it contained cosmic energy. It was more powerful than ordinary Peerless holy weapons because it contained cosmic energies. Lin Feng's cultivation level was too low, so he couldn't understand those weapons very well. Not all emperors had imperial weapons, but it was similar to when people had just broken through to the Zun Qi layer, they didn't necessarily have holy weapons either. Imperial weapons were precious treasures. It was difficult to obtain imperial weapons, emperors had to be lucky. Apart from the armor, there was a gigantic axe filled with a terrifying strength. Lin Feng was surprised because that axe contained pure strength and nothing else. It wasn't even sharp. The last item was a helmet, the Jade Emperor's helmet. That's the Jade Emperor's helmet. Lin Feng smiled at Meng Qing and Xiu Yu Xian while adding, those 3 weapons seem to contain cosmic energies. I want that axe. Meng Qing, Yu Xian, you two can choose one of the weapons as well. Give the helmet to Yu Xian, but the armor is not suitable for me. Lin Feng, you should take it, said Meng Qing. No, Peerless holy weapons are better than ordinary weapons. You can make them fuse together with your flesh, so how couldn't it suit you? Yu Xian, you can take the Jade Emperor's helmet, Meng Qing, you must take the armor, said Lin Feng. So take my high-level holy armor then, said Meng Qing. I don't need it. I have an empty space robe. It's a Peerless holy weapon as well, so just keep both of them, said Lin Feng. He walked to the axe and slowly raised it up. It was very heavy, at least 1 million kilos. It could decimate mountains or kill a low-level Zun cultivator in one strike. Take your holy weapons and let's go. We still have to see if there are any suitable holy marks to practice cultivation. Then, we can leave and modify those weapons. Lin Feng and the girls went back to one of the other rooms where carvings lined the wall. Last time, Lin Feng hadn't spent much time studying them. Those holy marks contained the strength of the earth and sky. Once you're an emperor, you can carve them yourself. Even Yan Di can do that, whispered Lin Feng. I can use other abstruse energies to replace the earth abstruse energies, I just need to activate the marks, thought Lin Feng, sitting down cross-legged. When he had the strength of the Tian Qi layer, he came to study the holy marks of the mysterious world, but he needed to be stronger before he could benefit from them. Now, he was a lot stronger. 7 days later, Lin Feng was sitting cross-legged in front of the waterfall in Emperor Yu's small world. He was calmly studying something while Meng Qing and Xiu Yu Xian were in the distance practicing cultivation. Lin Feng was releasing empty space energies as his godly awareness turned into threads and moved towards the empty space energies. Caw! In the sky, a bird passed. Lin Feng opened his eyes and rose up in the air. Constriction, the space around the bird became distorted. Then, it turned into dazzling marks as 1,000 threads of empty space abstruse energy formed a cage. I'm too slow. If it were the Great Rock, I wouldn't be able to imprison him with that speed, whispered Lin Feng. Those holy marks were challenging, but Lin Feng wanted to control cosmic energies. Lin Feng freed the bird, then he continued studying the holy marks. Lin Feng realized that when the holy marks became almost as powerful as cosmic energies, they fused together with the earth and sky even better. Lin Feng, said a voice. Lin Feng opened his eyes and saw Emperor Yu ahead of him. Teacher, said Lin Feng smiling. Lin Feng, I came to see you because I want you to see some people. I just saw you studying holy marks, what a coincidence, said Emperor Yu smiling. Teacher, when abstruse energies change, they become cosmic energies. Are holy marks a form of cosmic energy? Asked Lin Feng. Emperor Yu was a bit surprised as he said, I initially wanted to tell you about cosmic energies, but now you already know about them. Great minds think alike. The 10,000 things of creation exist because of the same thing. Holy marks exist thanks to the strength of the earth and sky, and abstruse energies. You just have to make them fuse together. So every emperor is a kind of magician who can create holy marks, thought Lin Feng. Of course, first, you need to understand the strength of the earth and sky, only then will you be able to understand cosmic energies. Emperors use the strength of the earth and sky all the time. Of course, when you become an emperor, you'll understand how scary and explosive attacks can be. Lin Feng nodded and asked, Teacher, how many sorts of cosmic energy do you understand? Earth cosmic energy, replied Emperor Yu calmly. Teacher, can you show me some cosmic strength? Asked Lin Feng. Alright, replied Emperor Yu. He was happy to see Lin Feng so enthused. Attack me using your most powerful attack. Alright. Lin Feng nodded. Suddenly, Qi blotted out the sky as he was surrounded by sword intent. Then he condensed death energies into his sword energy and a pitch-black light flew towards Emperor Yu. Emperor Yu remained calm though. He stretched out his fingers and moved them a little bit. The strength of the earth and sky turned into yellow earth, seemingly indestructible. The death and sword energies couldn't pierce through that strength. Imprison, said Emperor Yu. Lin Feng was suddenly trapped in an earthen cage. Emperor Yu looked at Lin Feng and smiled, those are the holy marks you want to learn about. The cage slowly opened and Lin Feng nodded back. Indeed, but holy marks seem rudimentary when compared with cosmic energies. Don't think that cosmic energies are that strong. Back when you couldn't control abstruse energies, you thought the same of them. After you can control cosmic energies, you will change your mind, said Emperor Yu. I know. Lin Feng knew his teacher was being nice to him too. Abstruse energies were the major difference between Tian level and Zun level cultivators, but the difference between them was nothing when compared with the differences between Zun level cultivators and emperors. I can easily create the cage because I'm an emperor, but if you were an emperor, I couldn't imprison you that easily, explained Emperor Yu. Chapter 1420, The Key to Holy City. Alright, you still have a long way to go, but you'll definitely become an emperor. Once you're an emperor, we'll see how many types of cosmic energies you can control. Now, come with me, said Emperor Yu. Lin Feng nodded, calling Meng Qing and Qiu Yuxin over. After a short time, Lin Feng arrived on a mountain inside the small world. There were some people he knew, teachers. You're here. Those people were his 3 teachers from Tianxian, the Snow Zun Cultivator, the Fire Zun Cultivator and Jian Feng Zi. There was also Tian Ji Zi with them. Lin Feng had told them about Emperor Shi and Emperor Yu, but he hadn't thought they'd come to Ba Huang that quickly. Little Lin Feng, our teacher told us about you and now we're weaker than you, said the Snow Zun Cultivator. He looked proud. Lin Feng was his disciple, so of course he was happy to see his disciple succeeding. Lin Feng shrugged, but found it funny because his teachers called Emperor Yu teacher too. There's no need to pay attention to names anymore, said Emperor Yu, laughing when he saw Lin Feng's confusion. Teacher, how is Shi Yun doing? Asked Lin Feng to the Fire Zun Cultivator. She's good. She really wanted to come with us, but we didn't let her. It was already difficult for us to come here because it's so far away from Tianqi, explained the Fire Zone cultivator. Teachers, you didn't come at the best time, said Lin Feng. With the Qi clan and Tianlong Divine Castle, the situation wasn't ideal for Tiantai. Nobody knows them, so I can still help them become stronger. Then they'll go and travel around Bahuang province to become stronger. They don't need to stay in Tiantai, said Emperor Yu. Lin Feng nodded. That was the best solution. Alright, Lin Feng, you don't need to care about those things anymore. Go and practice cultivation. You need to become stronger. Later, I'll call you out again, said Emperor Yu. Lin Feng nodded and said goodbye to his teachers. Then, he took Meng Qing and Qiu Yu Xan away. Lin Feng practiced cultivation and modified his Peerless holy weapons. He made some abstruse energies fuse together with them. He also studied holy marks. 20 days passed before Emperor Yu called him again, as well as the other direct disciples. At the top of the mountain, Emperor Yu looked at them in a grave and solemn way. This time, you're going to a very, very dangerous place. It's not dangerous for just you, it's dangerous for everybody. As always, there will be opportunities amongst the dangers there. The ultimate goal of the meeting of the emperors, thought Lin Feng. They had chosen the most outstanding geniuses of the region, 100 people, but why? And how come the emperors didn't hesitate as they lost so many people for the meeting? This time, you'll go to an extraordinary place which will determine your future. You might even have the opportunity to become emperors there, said Emperor Yu. Remember one thing, you're going to that place with only one goal, to obtain cosmic strength fate seeds. If you don't die there and come out with a cosmic strength fate seed, you'll be able to condense the cosmic energy inside. Once you reach the top of the Zun Qi layer, it'll help you become emperors. Besides, it will have another use, those cosmic strength fate seeds also act as keys to the holy city, explained Emperor Yu. What was the holy city? How come they needed cosmic strength fate seeds to go there? Teacher, what kind of place is the holy city? Asked Lin Feng. He had always wanted to ask that question. When you make it out, I'll tell you. For now, you must go, said Emperor Yu in a grave and solemn way. He shook his hand and a gigantic cloud appeared. Lin Feng and the others jumped on it. Apart from Mu Chen, all the others then left the small world. After a short time, Lin Feng looked down and saw that they were above the Huang Sea. Is that the Huang Sea? Asked Lin Feng. He realized that the terrifying energies of the Huang Sea didn't reach them, they stopped after a certain height. The Huang Sea. The goal was the Huang Sea, but what secrets are there inside? Lin Feng saw a black dot far away, but it was getting closer. Tianlong Divine Castle's people, Emperor Tianlong had brought the 4 princes as well. Emperor Yu is always early, shouted a voice in the distance. It was Emperor Qi. So many of my disciples were qualified, so I had to be early. Emperor Qi, your disciples have been disqualified, shouldn't you act more discreet, said Xing Zhan mockingly. Shut the hell up, watch your words when you're talking to an emperor, shouted Emperor Qi furiously. Emperor Yu suddenly released energies and an earthen armor appeared around Xing Zhan. An explosion ensued and the earthen armor exploded. Emperor Qi, you're getting more and more unruly, said Emperor Yu. They're impolite so they need to be taught a lesson. You have 11 disciples, but how many are going to stay alive? Asked Emperor Qi. After a short time, many more people had arrived. Seems like we're late, said Emperor Wen and Emperor Devamara nodding and smiling at Emperor Yu. Tiantai was close to the Huang Sea. There were 21 groups at that moment, but where were the people from the celestial palace of the immortals? Sorry for making you wait, said someone at that moment. It was the emperor of the celestial palace of the immortals. Godly awareness. Lin Feng inspected the emperor and realized that it wasn't really him. If you couldn't come yourself, you should have told me. I could have brought your disciples here myself. You must be exhausted, said Emperor Qi. No problem. You're too kind, said the old man calmly. They were still waiting even though everybody had arrived. After a short time, a group of people arrived from the distance. There was a lot of people, more than 100. Lin Feng saw two people in particular. It was the Ice Emperor and the Snow Leader. People from Jiuyu. Lin Feng realized. Emperor Qi smiled once he saw them. Not far from Emperor Qi, a young man knelt down in front of Emperor Qi and said, "Your Majesty. You seem so outstanding and strong, wonderful. Great for the Qi Empire," said Emperor Qi. He looked extremely pleased. Lin Feng was confused. The Qi Empire? Your Majesty. Emperor Qi walked to the people from the Qi Empire and bowed before a middle-aged man. Father, how have you been? I'm good. I see you didn't even keep one disciple for me, said the middle-aged man in a cold way. Then, he looked at people from Tiantai aggressively. Lin Feng and the others felt like they were suffocating from that gaze alone. The leader from the Qi Empire in Jiuyu was Emperor Qi's father. No wonder Qi Qianren had been to a shrine. Chapter 1421, Vines, Old Trees, and Crows. Emperor Yu frowned while saying, "You're an old emperor and you dare act so aggressively with the younger people? Since he knows I'm an old man, how dare he talk to me that way," replied the man to Emperor Yu without even glancing at him. Then, he looked at the young man and said, "Remember, I don't want any of them to survive." "Roger, Your Highness," said the young man bowing. There was only one person who was standing there in such a calm and serene way. He didn't even bow before Emperor Qi. That person's Qi was absolutely extraordinary. He glanced at the crowd and stopped turning his head once he saw Ho Qinglin. Only Ho Qinglin attracted his attention. The emperor from the east brought some strong people, 15 people in total, thought some of the people from Tiantai, frowning. There were 22 groups and 100 cultivators in total. Apart from Tiantai, there were no other groups which had brought that many people. In Jiuyu, 100 people had been qualified as well, but because there were less groups in Jiuyu, they had more people qualify per group. The Wen clan, the Xikong clan and the Celestial Thunder Temple all seemed to have something to do with Jiuyu, thought Lin Feng as he glanced over at them. The Wen clan and the Xikong clan groups seemed bigger. The Celestial Thunder Temple and the Devamara Palace also seemed to have something to do with Jiuyu because Kong Ming and Xiaoyu had been in a shrine. "Why don't you come to your mother?" asked the Snow Leader to Yi Renlei. Yi Renlei smiled and said, "I'm with my teacher, it's the same." "My daughter, where are your fellow disciples and Mu Feng? Are they all dead? And what happened in the shrine? Won't you tell us?" asked the Snow Leader. Even though she was smiling, her voice was strange. Mu Feng, those from the Ba Huang province were surprised to hear that name. What did Lin Feng have to do with Yi Renlei? Besides, people were surprised to learn that Yi Renlei was the daughter of an empress from Jiuyu. "Mother, I can't tell you that." "I'm sorry," said Yi Renlei, smiling thinly. "All right, you're my good girl after all," said the Snow Leader, in a cold way. Then, she turned to the people on her side and said, "Once inside, take good care of my daughter." "Roger, Snow Leader," said the strong cultivators from the Ice and Snow Shrine. All those people were cultivators at the top of the Zunqi layer. People from Ba Huang province and Jiuyu all arrived, but nobody did anything still. They seemed to be waiting for someone. "Ha, you waited for a long time," said a voice in the distance. That person was wearing a white robe and his qi was extraordinary. "That's not a problem at all, Your Excellency, the messenger," said the emperors politely. "Let me find the place," said the messenger, still smiling. Then, terrifying cosmic energies emerged from his eyes as he stared into the Huang Sea. Huge waves appeared from his energies. What a terrifying strength! Everybody was amazed. The man's cosmic energies made the sea go insane, creating a whirlpool. "You all remember well, that was the right place," said the messenger to the emperors. Then he entered the Huang Sea. "Let's go," said all the emperors to their cultivators. Then they too entered the Huang Sea, the legendary battlefield of the antiquity. It quickly became dark in the Huang Sea as they went dozens of thousands of meters deep in. Suddenly, they arrived in front of an empty space. The Huang Sea couldn't penetrate into it even. There was a coffin there which looked like a door. There were even marks on it. Sealing technique. Lin Feng recognized some of the seals from back in Shuiyu. Now, in front of him, there was a seal which had the form of a coffin. The young people this year seem even more outstanding than 100 years ago. Let me explain to you where you're going, the central part of the ancient battlefield. Many emperors were buried inside and a myriad of strong cultivators died there. Only people who aren't cultivation emperors can go inside. Nobody knows what there is inside, but there are definitely emperor fate seeds. Once you have an emperor fate seed, give it to me and I'll let you go to the holy city, explained the messenger. Understood, said many people, nodding along. It seemed like they had to obey that guy. Alright, let's open the seal. Good luck, said the messenger. He placed his hand on the marks of the coffin and dazzling lights broke through the dark Huang Sea. Bzzz, a terrifying strength emerged from the coffin. Then a door appeared and the lights became even brighter. Alright, you can go inside now, said the messenger to the crowd. Instantly, many people crossed the door as fast as they could. Let's go too, said Ho Ching Lin to his friends. Then, Tiantai's people gradually crossed the door as well. Lin Feng crossed the door and was surprised by what he saw. What is this place? Everything was dark in front of him. There was no sun, no moon, it was just dark. There were many ancient trees and vines, there was even desolate and dry qi. Caw, many people gulped down and shivered. There were some crows resting on the ancient black trees. They were pitch black and gigantic, but they looked calm though. If they hadn't cawed, people wouldn't have noticed them. Surprisingly, there are living things here, thought some people surprised. There was an ancient log cabin in the distance and it seemed like someone lived there, but it was only an illusion. It gave people an ominous feeling. Dry vines, old trees, crows, whispered Lin Feng. There were no bridges, no rivers, no people. What the hell is going on? Someone rose up in the air and punched the crows. The crows all opened their eyes and fixedly stared at the attacker. Ah, that cultivator gave a horrible shriek and suddenly, his body decayed and turned to dust. Boom, boom, people's hearts started pounding. It was as if they had forgotten what they were there for. They were just standing there, calmly not trying to aggravate those crows. The crows then stopped moving and calmly stood on the branches of the trees again. That's cosmic strength, thought Lin Feng. The bodies of the evil crows contained cosmic energies. They had killed a cultivator of the 5th Zun Qi layer in a flash. The crows' bodies contain cosmic energies, so that means there are Emperor Fate seeds here, thought Lin Feng. Then, he heard another crow caw and the door of the cabin opened itself. The crowd was startled and stopped breathing for a few seconds. Chapter 1422, The Demon Sealing Great Emperor's Hometown, so many years, said a ghostly voice. It seemed like a dead person had just talked to them. Someone slowly came out of the cabin. Half of his face was missing and instead of a left arm, there was white bones. The rest of his body was pitch black, even eyes were pitch black. He looked like a zombie. He must be dead, thought the crowd. His body contained death qi, so he had probably died many years ago, but he was now standing in front of the crowd. 100 years have passed and even more people came here to see me again, said the ghostly voice. Nobody dared say anything. Even the crows didn't move, they could sense that person's terrifying death qi. That person's death qi has turned into cosmic strength, so that must mean he's still alive, thought Lin Feng. Maybe that he had died and then come back to life thanks to the death strength. The same probably applied to those crows. So he must have fate seeds, death fate seeds that is, thought Lin Feng. He didn't care how that person was still living, what he cared about was the seeds. Why are you not talking? Who wants to play chess? Asked the dead person. He sat down at a table in front of the cabin and started playing against himself. Mister, we still have some things to do. We'll see you later, said someone bowing before the dead man. Then he rose up in the air. He wanted to leave, but suddenly a terrifyingly oppressive energy surrounded him. Wrong answer, said the dead man hoarsely. Then, he looked at the person and instantly, they turned black. Death chi invaded his body and he collapsed, dead. He can kill people by simply glancing at them. What is this sorcery? Thought the crowd. Who would dare move? I've been here for a long time, so I just want to chat. After that, I'll let you go. I'm not a demon. Killing you is useless to me, said the dead man in a deep and hoarse voice. He felt alone, but he loved spending time with people and chatting. Since you don't want to stay with me, I'll choose someone myself. You, the very beautiful girl who breeds talent, come here, said the dead person to Yi Renlei. Yi Renlei couldn't manage a smile as she usually did. Mister, I'll play chess with you. I love chess, said Lin Feng walking forwards. He wasn't afraid to die. Yi Renlei was shocked, but the dead person smiled and said hoarsely, all right, good, come here. Lin Feng walked towards the dead person and sat down opposite him. Chess was just the same as it was in the normal world. Was chess a game which had been created in the antiquity? All right, you people can walk around, just don't go any farther than 1,000 meters. Also, don't offend those birds, said the dead person. Lin Feng started playing. He looked calm and serene as he said, Mister, where are we? Why is the game of chess the same as in the outside world as in here? We're in the Jiuyu region. After the war, everybody died here. Why do you say the game of chess is the same? Said the dead person. He looked surprised, but at the same time, he looked expressionless, his eyes looked empty. Where do you come from? Asked the dead person to Lin Feng. I come from the Ba Huang province, my hometown is Shuiyu though. Have you ever heard of it? Asked Lin Feng. He didn't have much hope though. Shuiyu, Shuiyu, whispered the dead person, staring at Lin Feng. You come from Shuiyu, that's the demon sealer's birthplace. The demon sealer. Lin Feng was amazed. The demon sealer was probably the demon sealing great emperor, which meant that his hometown was Shuiyu. What's going on? Thought Lin Feng. It can't be. If the battlefield has been sealed by the demon sealer, and you come from the outside world, how could you be from Shuiyu? I must be mistaken, said the dead person. He was confused. His memories must have been mixed up. Mister, are you talking about the demon sealing great emperor? Is he really from Shuiyu? Asked Lin Feng. If Shuiyu was the demon sealing great emperor's hometown, then, on the other day, when the netherworld demon emperor had appeared, the one who had expelled everyone from Shuiyu was maybe the demon sealing great emperor. Shut up, shouted the dead person, suddenly releasing death chi which surrounded Lin Feng's body. Rumbling sounds spread in the air, then Lin Feng fell down onto his bottom. Lin Feng. Lin Feng's fellow disciples and Yi Renlei were surprised. Don't come here, shouted Lin Feng. Then he sat down cross-legged and absorbed the death chi. You understand death chi, said the dead person, he sounded excited. He didn't want to kill Lin Feng, he was just confused. If he had wanted to kill Lin Feng, it would have been easy. Indeed, mister, I have studied death abstruse energies, said Lin Feng. He was trying to remain calm. This place is perfect for you to practice cultivation then, said the dead person hoarsely. Lin Feng smiled and nodded, indeed. He gradually absorbed the death chi and made his way back to the dead person. Then he sat down and the dead person looked at him, smiled, and said, You're braver than them. I don't know that, said Lin Feng smiling. The dead man and Lin Feng continued playing chess and chatted. Lin Feng didn't ask anything else, he didn't dare. After a day, two people wanted to escape, but the dead man killed them. Apart from playing chess with the dead man during those days, Lin Feng also walked around sometimes. The death qi was very thick and rich in there, so he had a lot to benefit from. At that moment, Lin Feng sat down cross-legged in a dark area and studied the thick and rich death qi. A demon appeared, and just like the dead man had said, that place was perfect to study death abstruse energies. If we don't leave, we can't do anything else, said Roaxia and Mo Qing Tian to each other, using telepathy. I don't know how long the dead man wants us to stay here and what the rest of this region looks like, said Mo Qing Tian, sounding annoyed. At that moment, a light appeared. Lin Feng turned around and saw that the East Emperor's people looked furious. The great oriental greenfinch rock of the bestial imperial palace also looked furious. They were all fixedly staring at Lin Feng. Lin Feng had ancient scriptures and they wanted them. Lin Feng glanced at them, but then turned around again. During this time Lin Feng had realized that the core disciples of a few groups stayed together all the time, as if they were hiding something. Ho Qing Lin came and said to them using telepathy, we need to be careful. Some people brought imperial weapons in here. During the meeting of the emperors, we couldn't use imperial weapons, but in here, there are absolutely no restrictions. They could be plotting against the dead man. Lin Feng nodded and also said, using telepathy, Emperor Qi's father must have given some imperial weapons to his people. If the dead man wasn't here, we would probably have to fight against them. Yes, we need to be prepared, said Ho Qing Lin. Chapter 1423, Killing the Dead Man. Some time passed and the crowd had been stuck in there for 3 months already. Someone else tried to escape, but he was no exception. He was killed instantly. They were young, they needed to continue becoming stronger. Otherwise, if they came out after 100 years, the world would have changed and they'd need to catch up with new geniuses. Lin Feng sometimes played chess with the dead man, but they didn't talk much. He wasn't unhappy in there, his death abstruse energy was already level 5. Little boy, Lin Feng said using telepathy. Lin Feng opened his eyes and lights appeared in the sky. It was Lin Feng's Tianji sword. The Tianji sword had finished condensing a death soul. Lin Feng stood up and sat down next to the dead man, it was as if he had been waiting for him. As usual, Lin Feng played chess with him and listened to the dead man's incomprehensible stories. Back then, that place was gigantic, it used to be the Jiuyu region. Then, a great war began and many people died. Then, the demons sealing Great Emperor had sealed that place. But why in the Huangxi? At that moment, the great oriental greenfinch rock approached them. He looked at Lin Feng and then the dead man in a sharp way. Lin Feng didn't turn his head, but he sensed that some people were looking at him. Like the young man who had bowed before Emperor Qi, and the princes from Tianlong Divine Castle. Oh no, thought Lin Feng. The great oriental greenfinch rock was unruly and obstinate, he had even dared act disrespectful to the diviner. Apart from him, the others were quite unruly and aggressive too. They all had the strength of the 8th Zun Qi layer at least. Lin Feng guessed they wanted to attack. Mister, when will you let us go? Asked the great oriental greenfinch rock to the dead man. Lin Feng felt extremely nervous. The dead man could use cosmic energies like emperors, even if he wasn't as strong as real emperors, Zun cultivators couldn't compete with his cosmic energies. If those people wanted to attack, they had to kill the dead man in one attack, otherwise, everybody would be doomed. When I get tired, I'll let you go, said the dead man as before. He didn't even glance at them. It seemed like he hadn't even noticed that they wanted to attack him. All right, mister, we hope you get tired quickly, said the great oriental greenfinch rock calmly. Then, golden lights appeared and the great oriental greenfinch rock streaked across the sky. Boom! Lin Feng had the feeling that he was going to explode. The great oriental greenfinch rock lacerated the sky with each flap of his wings. Block! Lin Feng knew he didn't have time to react. He just released empty space energy using his empty space robe and disappeared. Slash, slash, the dazzling light surprised the old man. Then, he released a terrifying death chi and the atmosphere became darker. Kacha! The golden wings lacerated the dead man's body, but he was dead, so it didn't matter. Death chi surrounded the great oriental greenfinch rock, but he used his other wing to wrap himself up. The death chi couldn't corrode his dazzling golden wings. The great oriental greenfinch rock was using an imperial weapon. Lacerate. Lin Feng looked at the young man who came with the East Emperor. He was holding a dazzling sword. Bzzz. Lin Feng used his empty space robe again and appeared 1,000 meters away. The young man's sword struck where Lin Feng was standing a moment before. Arg! The dead man's body was lacerated, but his head was still there though. Die, 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 death chi invaded filled the space. Lin Feng turned around and ran away. The death chi was corroding his body, and it was strong enough that it could kill him. Run fast, the death chi was terrifying. No, someone died next to Lin Feng and fell down from the sky. If Lin Feng hadn't used his empty space robe, he would have died already. He continuously released vitality abstruse energies to recover as he ran away. Those people were using imperial weapons to fight the dead man, struggling to get his fate seeds. Lin Feng, take it. Jun Mo. She threw a jar of blood at Lin Feng. That's my blood, it contains immortal energies, said Jun Mo. She to Lin Feng. Jun Mo. She had received the blood from the Emperor of the Celestial Palace of the Immortals. He also had imperial weapons and understood death and immortal energies very well. Be careful, shouted Lin Feng to Jun Mo. She. He then flew away. He was a good fighter, but after all, he didn't have any imperial weapons. Boom, 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 terrifying explosions sounded, the death chi was exploding. The dead man didn't attack everybody luckily, otherwise, many people would have died. The dead man is not as strong as an emperor, otherwise, he would have killed those people, even if they had imperial weapons, thought Lin Feng. He didn't use Jun Mo. She's blood yet, he wanted to be far away, so that he could block the death chi. Caw, caw, some crows cawed and flew around Lin Feng. There were dozens of them and they were gigantic. Then they flew towards him, surprising him. He then jumped onto his gigantic sword. He wanted to go somewhere else, but the crows prevented him from moving away. Lin Feng. Lin Feng saw Yiren Lei, she looked like she was struggling. She was releasing life abstruse energies and using the life water Lin Feng had given to her. Those crowd can release cosmic energies, don't offend them, said Yiren Lei. They surrounded me. The dead man made them angry, not me. Ruoxia and the others had also arrived by this time. Those crows are dead, so I'll use reincarnation energies to fight them, said Ho Ching Lin. He released a sword reincarnation attack and then holes appeared in the air. Die, shouted Ho Ching Lin. In a flash, the crows disappeared inside the reincarnation holes. Arg, the others' crows were going insane. Mu Bei, brother, use your gravestone, said Lin Feng. Maybe those insane cultivators were going to kill the dead man, so they needed to think of a solution to escape if that happened. No, we'll all try to bury ourselves, we can try and gamble that way, said Mu Bei, shaking his head. No need, brother, I have Jun Mo. She's blood. You can stay, but I'm going, said Lin Feng. His Tianji sword dashed to the skies, diffusing dazzling lights. In a flash, many crows died. Even though their bodies were filled with cosmic energies, their energies didn't belong to them. Chapter 1424, Dream, Bzzz, a terrifying death chi descended from the sky, but Lin Feng took out a palace. Mu Bei and the others were stupefied. Mu Bei shouted, Lin Feng, brother, be careful. Boom. Mu Bei punched the ground, creating a crater and causing pieces of stones to rise up in the air. Then they jumped into the crater and the stones covered them up to look like a real tomb. Die! Lin Feng could use the Tianji sword to see around, as the Tianji sword didn't fear cosmic energies. It quickly killed the crows while Lin Feng was surfing on his gigantic sword. His palace could prevent the cosmic energies from the crows from affecting him. What a great sword, thought Lin Feng. He was making his Tianji sword absorb death cosmic energies which could be beneficial in the future. Lin Feng, shouted someone in the distance. Then, golden lights illuminated the surroundings. That was the Great Rock. It seems that they had managed to kill the dead man with their imperial weapons. Lin Feng and his friends were worried that the Great Oriental Greenfinch Rock and the young man from the Qi clan would try to get their revenge. It seems like they were right to fear that. Flap, flap, the Great Oriental Greenfinch Rock flapped his golden wings and the crows around him all died. He stared at Lin Feng in a strange way. Lin Feng, hand over your ancient scriptures, said the Great Rock, glaring at Lin Feng who had just recalled his Tianji sword. Little bird, Emperor Peng gave you a great imperial weapon. If you died here, it would be a pity, wouldn't it? Said Lin Feng mockingly. You dare make fun of me, yet I never talked shit to you. You have 3 seconds to give me your ancient scriptures, otherwise you'll die, said Mo Peng furiously. Lin Feng smiled coldly, how can you be sure that I have the ancient scriptures? Then, Lin Feng jumped into the Jade Emperor's palace and the palace fell down to the ground. Caw! Mo Peng cawed and looked at the palace. He wanted to break it, he even struck it with his golden wings, but he still couldn't break it. Cosmic energies are condensed around that palace. Mo Peng was surprised. Lin Feng surprisingly had a palace that even his imperial weapon couldn't break. Caw! Mo Peng shouted furiously. He flew towards the door of the palace as fast as he could. Rumbling sounds made the palace shake violently. Mo Peng, shouted someone. The Great Oriental Greenfinch Rock looked at the palace and then left just as quickly as he came. The young man from the Qi clan struck the palace with his sword, but he couldn't break it either. He looked furious. Mo Peng stole the fate seed and then flew away immediately. The young man from the Qi clan was even more furious because he couldn't catch up with him, and now Lin Feng was hiding in the palace. Let's go, shouted the young man from the Qi clan, leaving with his friends. After Lin Feng found out that those people couldn't break his palace, he stayed inside for a month and practiced cultivation. When he came out, there was nobody there anymore. They couldn't waste such an opportunity, it was something that happened only once every 100 years. Lin Feng put his palace away and jumped onto his gigantic sword, streaking across the sky. It was desolate, but there were some amazing landscapes to behold. It's an ancient battlefield, thought Lin Feng. He saw some familiar landscapes, but he couldn't remember what they were. That mountain range. Lin Feng saw a mountain range which looked like the Yunhai mountain range. And that forest. Lin Feng noticed a forest which looked like the Black Wind Mountain. How come it looks so similar, thought Lin Feng. He continued flying across the sky towards Yangzhou City, and as expected, he saw a city. Even though it wasn't like the Yangzhou City he had created, from the sky, it looked similar. Lin Feng was very confused. From here, I need less than an hour to make it to the former imperial city of Shuiyu, thought Lin Feng, gazing into the distance. His sword streaked across the sky again, and after an hour, Lin Feng saw another city. It was wrecked, but it looked like the former imperial city of Shuiyu. Lin Feng was astonished, his heart started racing. What was going on? Why did that place, which had been sealed by the demon-sealing Great Emperor, look like Shuiyu? Bzzz. Lin Feng flew towards Duanren City. He wanted to make sure that this place was Shuiyu. When Lin Feng arrived in the sky above Duanren border, he realized he was right. That place looked like Duanren City. However, instead of the Duanren border, there was a gigantic valley which looked like a sword mark. Emperor Wu Tianjian's sword qi, thought Lin Feng. The valley had been created by a sword strike which contained terrifying energies. Emperor Wu Tianjian came here too, thought Lin Feng. He was confused. That ancient battlefield looked like Shuiyu though. Lin Feng's silhouette flickered and he landed in Duanren border. There was a coffin seal in front of him and it was filled with ice-cold energies. That was the border of Shuiyu and that was a sealed area, as if it had been the end of the small world. Maybe the demon-sealing Great Emperor was feeling sad after Shuiyu was destroyed, so he decided to recreate the country here, thought Lin Feng. If that place was Shuiyu, an ancient battlefield which was also the demon-sealing Great Emperor's birthplace, then where was the real Shuiyu in the outside world? There's someone. Lin Feng saw a silhouette in white clothes in the distance. He jumped onto his sword and streaked across the sky again. Who are you? Shouted Lin Feng. Suddenly the person in white clothes became blurry as Lin Feng suddenly felt like he was going to faint. Then, he slowly lied down and fell asleep. When Lin Feng fainted, he sensed that he had fallen on a soft body. That person gently caressed Lin Feng's head. He tried to open his eyes, but he couldn't. It was like a dream. In his dream, he saw a terrifying battle where many strong cultivators died. They were astonishingly strong, so much so that he felt like an ant next to them. Lin Feng also practiced cultivation in his dream and he became extremely strong. He practiced cultivation for a year and it felt so real. Chapter 1425, Stealing a Fate Seed. 1,000 years passed in the dream. Finally, Lin Feng woke up and felt that his consciousness had changed. Demon qi was flowing around and throughout his body. His demon qi had become a lot stronger. What's going on? Lin Feng's mouth twitched. He tried to move his legs, but they felt so soft. He turned around and saw a beautiful face, but that face was deathly pale, like a ghost. You woke up, said the beautiful woman in a gentle voice. She was still caressing Lin Feng's head, making his muscles twitch. How long did I sleep? Asked Lin Feng. You slept for a year. I helped you practice cultivation in your dream, said the beautiful woman. Lin Feng gulped down. A year? He had really slept for a year. And that woman had helped him practice cultivation in his dream? No wonder I feel like I have become stronger. I have the strength of the top of the 4th Zun Qi layer, thought Lin Feng. Lin Feng smiled wryly. Had he wasted time that year? He didn't care that he had leveled up, the main question was it worth it? Can I move? Asked Lin Feng. He didn't want to offend her, maybe she could make him sleep for another 10 or even 100 years. You can, young child, said that beautiful woman. Lin Feng was speechless. Child? That beautiful woman looked young and he wasn't used to hearing beautiful women call him a child. Lin Feng stood up and asked, Madam, what kind of skills do you practice? And why did you make me practice cultivation while sleeping? The woman was nice and gentle to Lin Feng. Lin Feng considered her as a nice old woman, so he wasn't afraid. The dream of life. Ancient scriptures, I can control dream cosmic energies. I created that dream for you, said the beautiful woman honestly. Lin Feng was curious and intrigued. Such terrifying ancient scriptures. Sigh, 100 years passed, you probably came here for some Emperor Fate seeds, said the beautiful woman, sighing heavily again. She seemed unhappy that time passed so fast. Indeed, madam, replied Lin Feng. It's not easy to get Emperor Fate seeds. Each time people came in for Emperor Fate seeds, the consequences were tragic, said the beautiful woman, shaking her head. Young child, don't try and find Emperor Fate seeds, you should stay here and practice cultivation. I can make you fall asleep and practice cultivation in here, I can even transmit the dream of life ancient scriptures to you, said the beautiful woman in a gentle way. Lin Feng was surprised and shook his head. Madam, even though it's difficult to get Emperor Fate seeds, I must try. Maybe I'll be lucky in my search. No, why would you want Emperor Fate seeds anyways? I can help you become stronger and teach you the dream of life cosmic energies. Madam, Fate seeds are really important to me, so I'm leaving, said Lin Feng. Then, he glanced around. The woman didn't seem like she wanted to attack him. His silhouette flickered, but suddenly, he began to feel drowsy again. Lin Feng bit his lips to stay awake. Why do you need Fate seeds? Why do you want to leave me every 100 years? All my friends and close ones are dead. We should become a family. Why do you want to abandon your family? Asked the beautiful woman in a cold way. She then landed next to him again. She wasn't warm anymore, she was rather cold. Cosmic energies emerged and illuminated the atmosphere. Comic strength, there are Fate seeds in the castle. Lin Feng was surprised. The beautiful woman looked like she could disappear at any moment when she casted her energies. Her silhouette flickered every now and then. She's not alive either. She lives thanks to cosmic energies, realized Lin Feng. There was probably nobody alive in there. Those people existed, all thanks to the strange energies. Bzzz, bzzz, a strong wind started blowing and dazzling wings blotted out the sky. A rock had appeared. Rumbling and explosions sounded as the castle broke apart. The great rock was moving towards the source of the cosmic energies. Oh no! Lin Feng suddenly moved in that direction as fast as he could. The woman also followed him. Break! The young man from the Qi clan lacerated the space with his sword. A terrifying tornado started rotating as he threw himself at the castle. Caw! More rumbling sounds as the rock arrived from another direction. There were ancient scriptures in his claws and one Fate seed which contained cosmic energy. Sleep, shouted the beautiful woman. The Fate seed released cosmic energies and the rock closed his eyes, falling asleep. Lacerate, shouted the young man from the Qi clan. Explosions sounded as he attacked the rock's body, making it fly far away. No, shouted the woman furiously. Her body became even more blurry, as if she was going to disappear. The young man from the Qi clan smiled coldly and didn't pay any attention to her. He hadn't thought the rock would steal his Fate seed. The woman couldn't be far away from the Fate seed or the ancient scriptures, otherwise she would disappear. Lin Feng quickly understood this. Lin Feng grabbed the woman's body which was disappearing and ran after the rock. Then, she slowly appeared again. Piss off, shouted the young man from the Qi clan, lacerating the sky with his sword. Boom boom. A loud sound rumbled as a castle appeared in front of Lin Feng, blocking the sword attack. Then, that castle disappeared again. Lin Feng continued chasing the rock with the woman in his arms. Some people looked at him from higher up in the sky. They were strong cultivators who had come with the East Emperor. There was also a rock who had the great oriental greenfinch rock's blood. Piss off, shouted the cultivator from the Qi clan, attacking again. However, the rock was too fast. He lacerated the young man's colleague with his claws and took the ancient scriptures and Fate seed again. Thousand-year dream of life, shouted the woman. The Fate seed became dazzling, but the rock immediately threw it at the young man from the Qi clan. Stop, shouted the young man from the Qi clan, but the dream of life cosmic energies moved towards him. He struck the Fate seed with his sword, making it fly away. At the same time, the dream of life cosmic energies still made him fall asleep. Rumbling sounds appeared in the air again as a palace fell towards him. Then, the palace crashed onto his head. Boom! He was buried under the palace. Lin Feng didn't look at him, he was still holding the woman in his arms and had ran after the Fate seed. The woman didn't pay him any attention, she couldn't be too far from the Fate seed so her focus was on it. Of course, the young man had also struck the seed with his sword, making her want to attack him. Die! One of the strong cultivators from the East Emperor's side and a rock chased after Lin Feng and the woman. They knew that if the woman was near the Fate seed, they wouldn't be able to deal with her. In the distance, another cultivator from the East Emperor's side flew towards the fate seed. "No!" shouted the woman. She had lost all her friends and family members. Why did people want her to disappear? She started crying and her body started disappearing again. Lin Feng felt incredibly sad for her. He still remembered what he had seen in the dream. "Ah!" the woman shouted. A terrifying strength surrounded him and made him fly away. The woman attacked those two people, making one of them explode and the other one fall asleep. They both fell down from the sky. "I'll take care of you." Lin Feng released demonic intent and jumped on his gigantic sword. He followed the one who had stolen the fate seed as fast as he could. Chapter 1426, Kill. A cultivator of the 7th Zun Qi layer who came with the East Emperor had taken the fate seed, and now he was using empty space abstruse energies to run away with it. In one step, he could fly over 100 meters. Bzzz, bzzz, bzzz. Lin Feng's sword whistled. The strong cultivator was surprised when he looked behind him and saw Lin Feng riding his gigantic sword. Lin Feng had a heart in his left hand which could turn into the Jade Emperor's palace. He was condensing empty space energies in his right hand. "You must want to die," shouted that strong cultivator. He came from Jiu Yu, so he didn't know how strong Lin Feng was. He only saw a cultivator at the top of the 4th Zun Qi layer who dared chase him. He immediately turned around and a gigantic hand moved towards Lin Feng. Lin Feng didn't dodge, he actually moved faster towards him. "Die!" shouted Lin Feng furiously. His voice carried cursing and death energies. He wanted to drain his opponent's vitality with it. A gigantic axe appeared in Lin Feng's right hand. Some rumbling sounds appeared as the axe descended from the sky. Metallic ringing sounded as it destroyed the gigantic hand and cut the enemy's body into two as well. Lin Feng grabbed the corpse and took his ring. He checked inside it with his godly awareness, and found the fate seed filled with cosmic energy. He turned around and saw a great oriental greenfinch rock was heading towards him very quickly. However, that wasn't the real one. That cultivator was at the top of the Zun Qi layer and had the blood of the great oriental greenfinch rock, but he was another descendant. Arg! A demon illusion appeared around Lin Feng's body, his body became dark, his eyes became pitch black. Caw! The great oriental greenfinch rock threw himself at Lin Feng with his wings which were sharper than blades. Arg! Arg! Lin Feng's demon roared furiously. Lin Feng didn't dodge, instead throwing himself at him too. His physical body fused together with the earth and sky, even more so now after having been cleansed by the lights of the gate in Tiantai. Boom, boom caw. Caw, a terrifying, horrible shriek sounded. Lin Feng had cut off one of the rock's wings. Cracks appeared on his golden body and golden blood dripped. Then, the great rock fell down from the sky. Lin Feng had used his full strength, with his demon qi and the force of the earth and sky. It was simple to say his attacks were multiplied by more than 5. Not to mention his axe contained cosmic energy. Slash, slash, the bird maid invoked his blood to recover his arm. He turned around and flew in the other direction at the same time, wanting to escape. Bzzz. Lin Feng disappeared suddenly, but dazzling lights appeared. The bird couldn't move because he had suddenly been trapped in a cage made of a strange strength. I did it. Lin Feng was surprised of himself. Even though the bird was injured, he was still extremely fast, so Lin Feng didn't have the utmost confidence in himself until it actually worked. Caw, the bird cawed furiously. He released golden lights and his feathers turned into terrifyingly sharp blades. Then, he used them to try to break the cage. Metallic ringing sounded as he started breaking the holy marks, but at the same time, Lin Feng arrived with the axe in both hands. Arg! Lin Feng released demonic energies and struck the bird's back with his axe. Explosions sounded in the air and the bird's body crackled. More golden blood dripped and now, he was also coughing up golden blood. "You're still not dead," shouted Lin Feng. Then he struck the bird again. Boom, 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 Lin Feng continued attacking the bird like a mad person, before finally, a big wound appeared on his body. Lin Feng took the ancient scriptures away from the bird and then looked at him with his demon eyes. "You won't be the last great oriental greenfinch rock I kill," said Lin Feng. He then struck the bird's head with his axe one last time. After a final explosion, the bird finally closed his eyes. The great oriental greenfinch rock had been killed by a human being. What a humiliation. Lin Feng glanced around and saw that there were several people watching him. The young man with his imperial sword had arrived as well. Other strong cultivators were looking at him. Some people who had come with the East Emperor were there as well. Lin Feng had killed a bird and a cultivator who had come with the East Emperor. Now, he had a fate seed and the ancient scriptures. That strong cultivator of the Qi clan was called Qi Yan and he was the East Emperor's son, Emperor Qi's direct disciple. Qi Yan looked at Lin Feng who was still holding his axe and was looking like a demon. Bzzz. Dazzling lights suddenly emerged from Qi Yan's body as he moved towards Lin Feng. His sword couldn't destroy that mysterious palace, but Lin Feng didn't hide inside it again. This time he could use his full strength to attack Lin Feng. Lin Feng disappeared as the Jade Emperor's heart turned into a gigantic palace and struck Qi Yan, making him fly away. Die! A demonic voice resonated in one of the cultivator's brain and he suddenly stopped moving. Lin Feng's death abstruse energy was at the top of the 5th level, his demon abstruse energy was level 6, his cursing abstruse energy was level 5, while his soundwave abstruse energy was only level 3. Even cultivators of the top of the Zun Qi layer were affected by those energies combined. Lacerate. Lin Feng's Tianji sword emitted whistling sounds as it crossed the sky with extreme speed. It used the Desolate Xana attack and made the enemy's head explode. That cultivator of the 7th Zun Qi layer immediately died. A sword's soul was something mysterious, even more so when it had several souls. Lin Feng didn't need to control it with his hands, he just had to communicate with it using telepathy and the sword obeyed. When Lin Feng used Emperor Wu Tianjian's sword, it didn't have its maximum power because Lin Feng couldn't control its sword soul. But, Lin Feng had made the souls of his Tianji sword so they were really connected. How terrifying, thought the others. However, a strong wind blew around the palace and an imperial weapon moved towards Lin Feng. Chapter 1427, Understanding Death Abstruse Energy, Empty Space Wind. Qi Yan's imperial weapon contained cosmic strength, making it terrifying. Lin Feng couldn't do anything to that imperial weapon. Unfortunately, he didn't have Emperor Wu Tianjian's sword anymore, otherwise, the sword would have taken care of it. Lin Feng used the Jade Emperor's palace to block the energies. Qi Yan's sword kept lacerating the sky but that palace infuriated him. Bzzz. A silhouette suddenly appeared in front of Lin Feng, it was Qi Yan. He had used his empty space agility technique and immediately attacked with his sword in Lin Feng's direction. Lin Feng and the palace suddenly disappeared and reappeared far away from Qi Yan. He had used his empty space robe to dodge Qi Yan's attack. The Jade Emperor's palace moved towards Qi Yan, and then rumbling sounds appeared as it collided against him. The Jade Emperor's palace then turned into a heart again and flew back to Lin Feng. "Stay here," shouted Lin Feng. He used many sorts of strength to block his enemy and then his axe descended from the sky. Die! His axe crashed onto the enemy's body and another cultivator of the 7th Zun Qi layer was killed on the spot. Lin Feng glanced around, striking fear into those people's hearts. Surprisingly, they didn't meet Lin Feng's gaze. They all stepped back, but Lin Feng released cursing energies, making them stop for a second. Lin Feng had killed cultivators of the 7th Zun Qi layer in front of them, so they didn't want to give him that kind of opportunity again. Lin Feng glanced at them, but they still didn't dare get close to him. Lin Feng groaned coldly and said aggressively, "A bunch of trash." Lin Feng glanced at Qi Yan again and said coldly, "Stop." Qi Yan wanted to use his sword again, but Lin Feng's shout actually made him stop. He looked at Lin Feng with some annoyance. Lin Feng was using a palace made of cosmic energies, so his sword, which was an imperial weapon, couldn't destroy it. Besides, Lin Feng also had an empty space holy weapon which allowed him to teleport away at a moment's notice. "Since you can't kill me, just run away. Don't make me waste my time," said Lin Feng. "If you didn't have all those precious treasures, I would have killed you already," said Qi Yan. "You're really shameless," said Lin Feng in a disdainful way. Qi Yan seemed to have forgotten that he was using an imperial weapon. Then, Lin Feng jumped onto his gigantic sword and streaked across the sky. As he left, Lin Feng said, "I hope you'll live a bit longer." Qi Yan didn't chase Lin Feng because Lin Feng was right, since he couldn't kill him, chasing him was pointless. They were both wasting time fighting against each other. He could go hunt other fate seeds instead. Everyone in here is heroically strong, especially the core disciples of some of the groups, and even more so those who have imperial weapons. "I can't defeat them yet," thought Lin Feng while riding his gigantic sword. Lin Feng didn't feel safe in that world. He needed to become even stronger. "Should I practice cultivation or try to find more fate seeds?" thought Lin Feng. He wouldn't become that much stronger if he practiced cultivation for only a short time, especially considering that he forgot about time when he practiced cultivation. Fate seeds were the keys to the holy city. However, if he wanted to become stronger, he also needed to go to the holy city, and would thus need more fate seeds. "I'll study death abstruse energy then," thought Lin Feng. He went back to the place where the dead man was at the beginning. That was a corner of Shuiyu, but also the entrance of that world. Death qi was thick and rich there, perfect for studying. When Lin Feng arrived, he noticed the soil was still black and contained desolate qi. Those annoying crows were still flying around overhead. Lin Feng didn't know how they were still animated. In the past, the dead man used to control them, but now he was gone, so how did they continue moving? Lin Feng landed in front of the small cabin where the dead man used to stay. The death qi was especially thick there. Caw, caw, crows cawed, making Lin Feng felt cold. His Tianji sword streaked across the sky and immediately lacerated the crows. Slash, slash, crows fell down from the sky, one after the other. One crow slipped through and headed for Lin Feng. Die! His Tianji sword came back and aimed at that crow. At the same time, Lin Feng invoked his blood strength, causing dragon chants to sing. "Absorb!" shouted Lin Feng. His 9 dragon heads roared and absorbed the terrifying strength emanating from the crow. As soon as the dragon swallowed the crow, death qi entered Lin Feng's body. However, Lin Feng released life abstruse energy to protect himself. "My spirit doesn't fear the strength of the dead crows," thought Lin Feng, surprised. He shouted, "Absorb, absorb!" The 9 dragon heads looked insane. They continued eating the crows, further adding to the death qi entering Lin Feng's blood. Although it was corroding his blood, he was transforming that death energy to his own. After a long time, he finally calmed down. He started studying the death abstruse energy and found that it was easier now that he had absorbed the death qi. Especially seeing how he had made it fuse together with his soul. A month passed and Lin Feng was still surrounded by a terrifying death qi. His death abstruse energy was now level 6, which meant he could easily kill cultivators of the 6th Zun Qi layer and under with it. If he made it fuse together with other abstruse energies, then his attacks would become even more terrifying. However, at that moment, inside the cabin, 2 white lights gleamed. The surroundings became pitch black, except for those 2 white dots. Someone was smiling at Lin Feng. 3 months later, Lin Feng's death qi was even more terrifying. His death abstruse energy was now level 7. Finally, high-level abstruse energy. On that day, Lin Feng opened his eyes and stopped practicing cultivation. But when he opened his eyes, the two white eyes in the cabin disappeared. Chapter 1428, A Skeleton Leading the Way. I absorbed the death chi from the crows and made it fuse together with my blood and studied it. Finally, it worked, thought Lin Feng, sensing his level 7 death abstruse energy. Death abstruse energy was different from other abstruse energies. Death abstruse energy could destroy life abstruse energy, and mixing it with cursing abstruse energy made it even more horrifying. A fruit appeared in Lin Feng's hand, a Bodhi tree fruit. Lin Feng immediately put it into his mouth and chewed it. With it, demon chi penetrated into his body. This was his method to improving his demon strength. He had tons of Bodhi tree fruits, but he still couldn't waste them. Lin Feng then ate some abstruse tablets which he had obtained in Fortune City. Dirty bird, I better not see you again. Lin Feng's eyes were filled with death determination. He stood up and gazed into the distance where he saw those two white lights. Who's that? Lin Feng released an incredible amount of death intent. Another monster. Besides, that silhouette was wearing a hooded pitch-black robe so Lin Feng couldn't see their head. Apart from those two white lights, he could only see blackness. Woo, woo, a strange and mysterious wail sound echoed. The silhouette turned around and glanced at Lin Feng. What the hell is that thing? Thought Lin Feng. The thing in the robe seemed small and it had absolutely no chi. However, that thing seemed like it was asking Lin Feng to follow him. Do you want me to follow you? Said Lin Feng while walking forwards. Lin Feng got closer and saw a white skull under the hood. The person nodded, which meant he understood Lin Feng. Lin Feng's mouth twitched. In that world, everything seemed dangerous and strange, but nothing could still be alive in there. The dead man and the woman were both lifeless. Now, a skeleton was asking Lin Feng to follow him. Maybe he had a spirit or a consciousness. Let's go then, said Lin Feng. He wanted to see where the skeleton would take him. The skeleton looked strange and was too slow. Lin Feng picked up the skeleton and put it on his gigantic sword, telling him to lead the way. The skeleton took him to a forest where the chi was very ancient. Besides the ancient chi, it seemed like there was some life energy in there. How come such a place existed in there? It almost looked like the outside world with its life energies being so thick. The trees looked fresh and alive, the polar opposite of where he had just been. Does that place contain nature's strength fate seeds? Asked Lin Feng. If so, then they were probably nature or life fate seeds which contained life or nature cosmic energies. Lin Feng turned around and looked at the skeleton. The skeleton nodded, confirming what Lin Feng had just said. Why did he bring him there though? Bzzz. A spiritual strength surrounded the skeleton. Lin Feng didn't want to harm the skeleton, he just wanted to check something. Lin Feng was surprised, a spiritual strength actually existed in that skeleton. How mysterious and enigmatic. If he hadn't checked, he wouldn't have sensed anything. Who are you? Asked Lin Feng, staring at the skeleton. But then he realized the skeleton couldn't reply, he hadn't talked this entire time actually. The skeleton jumped aside and Lin Feng followed him into the forest. Lin Feng used his godly awareness to inspect the surroundings. Bzzz. A light appeared in Lin Feng's hand, it was a black fire. It slowly burnt in his hand with demon and fire abstruse energies. Burn. Lin Feng's black fire turned into many threads of energies and they moved in all directions. Bzzz, a terrifying fire started burning, spreading and burning all the living plants around him. Bzzz, after a short time, a dazzling light appeared. Each tree suddenly released a terrifying life strength as if it had suddenly started living again. The trees were even more green, at the same time, the trees and plants started growing even larger. It seemed like they wanted to constrict Lin Feng. Cosmic strength, there's a fate seed in here for sure. Those trees look bestial though, thought Lin Feng. Now, he was sure the skeleton hadn't lied to him. But why was the skeleton helping him? Who had sent him? Plants continued growing, quickly blotting out the sky. Bzzz. Lin Feng released sword energies and began cutting away the branches and vines surrounding him. Lacerate. Lin Feng released even more sword chi, along with demon and fire energies. He continued cutting plants, however, there were too many branches and vines to contend with. Bzzz. Lin Feng took out his scepter and released cursing strength. Curse. Death curse, shouted Lin Feng. Suddenly, the plants seemed like they were losing their vitality, as if they were dying. Lin Feng then saw a tree which seemed to be millions of years old, its green lights were brighter than all the other plants in the forest. The fate seed must be there, thought Lin Feng excitedly. Even though it was only a tree, it contained cosmic strength, so taking the fate seed away wouldn't be easy. There's a fate seed, shouted someone. At that moment some people appeared above him in the sky. They had seen what was going on over there and had rushed over. The nature around him was still going insane, but Lin Feng rose up in the air and stopped attacking. Many people were coming, so he wanted to let them try first. Caw! In the distance, golden and green lights shot up into the sky. The wings of that bird were hundreds of meters wide. That great oriental greenfinch rock had an imperial weapon, contributing even more to his speed, excellent offensive and defensive abilities. The bird looked at Lin Feng mockingly. You want to give me some fate seeds, said the bird aggressively. Lin Feng smiled in a cold way as he raised his scepter and condensed abstruse energies. He was getting ready to attack the bird. Break, 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 shouted the bird furiously. Even though that tree had vitality, it couldn't use it very well. Not to mention its cosmic strength wasn't that powerful, even less powerful than the death cosmic energies at the start. Besides, wood-type entities stood no chance against the bird's imperial weapon. It's time. When Lin Feng saw that the bird was about to get the fate seed, he shouted furiously, Die, die, die. Bzzz. Lin Feng disappeared and reappeared right behind the bird, striking him with his scepter and releasing cursing energies. Boom! Caw! The bird cawed in anger as his body became pitch black, the death strength draining away his life. Even though he had incredible defensive abilities and terrifying speed, his life was made of life energies, so the death energies could bypass all those defenses. Caw! He cawed furiously and flapped his wings as fast as he could. Block! Lin Feng suddenly disappeared again. Lin Feng didn't wait for the bird to die, he immediately moved towards the fate seed. Chapter 1429, Strange Skeleton, Come Out. His hands turned pitch black as his demon fire crashed onto the tree. Bzzz. Lin Feng took out the fate seed and stored it away. Then, he released empty space energy and disappeared again. Slash, slash, the bird kept flapping his wings, lacerating everything around it. Lin Feng was soaked in a cold sweat and was breathing fast. Those people had imperial weapons, so Lin Feng still wasn't convinced he could escape. Die, shouted the great oriental greenfinch rock. He flapped his wings after he found Lin Feng, instantly throwing himself at Lin Feng. Death curse, shouted Lin Feng, raising his scepter again. The great oriental greenfinch rock pulled in his wings and protected himself. Lin Feng ran away, throwing his gigantic palace at the bird. Large rumbling sounds appeared as the great oriental greenfinch rock peaked down, crashing into the ground and creating a crater. Die, die, die. Lin Feng was holding his scepter in his left hand and releasing cursing intent. Ah, slash, slash, the great oriental greenfinch rock cawed furiously. One of his wings was badly injured. In a flash, he appeared 10,000 meters away, opening his wings again. His body was still being corroded by death chi. He stared back at Lin Feng, somewhat surprised that his cursing strength could actually kill him, even with his imperial weapon. "Dirty bird, I'm waiting for you to kill me," said Lin Feng mockingly. He was infuriating the great oriental greenfinch rock on purpose. "Caw!" The bird rose up in the sky and said aggressively, "Lin Feng, Mo Peng, will definitely kill you. Without an imperial weapon, there's no difference between you and any other bird. If you want to kill me, but if you only want to talk shit, do it somewhere else," said Lin Feng in a disdainful way. The bird was even more furious. He circled above a few times before he disappeared. He flew so fast that people heard a sonic boom issue behind him. Lin Feng watched him leave, then he turned to a cultivator of the 7th Zun Qi layer and shouted furiously, "Death curse! Die, die, die!" Lin Feng shouted furiously. Even though that cultivator was a cultivator at the top of the Zun Qi layer, his life wasn't as abundant as the bird's. He also didn't have any imperial weapons, so Lin Feng killed him easily. Then Lin Feng looked at the others, but they were scared and ran away instantly. Lin Feng looked around and found that there was nobody else there. Then he looked at the skeleton in the distance, still perplexed. Just what was that thing? "Woo, woo," the skeleton wailed and turned around, pointing at a place in the distance. He wanted to take Lin Feng to another place. Lin Feng's gigantic sword appeared again, then the skeleton and Lin Feng flew away. "He knows where the fate seeds are and he is showing me where to go," thought Lin Feng. How strange. A skeleton was helping him, and thanks to him, he had obtained another fate seed already. But since the skeleton was helping him willingly, Lin Feng couldn't refuse. Fate seeds contained cosmic strength and were incredible treasures. They would be even more useful after breaking through to the 9th Zun Qi layer, as well as being used as keys to the holy city. They soon arrived above some ruins. There were no imperial weapons or anything special there. After all, they weren't the first people to go there. The previous generations had probably robbed all the treasures already. What was the next place going to be like? This time, the skeleton brought Lin Feng to the Yunhai mountain range and pointed at a forest, the Black Wind Mountain. Lin Feng remained silent on his sword, seeing how he couldn't communicate properly with the skeleton. They both entered the forest and then the skeleton wailed again. Lin Feng stopped to see what he was wailing about. "Woo, woo," the skeleton pointed at a tree. Lin Feng was surprised, a tree again. But that tree was different from the previous one, it seemed dead and it didn't seem to contain any fate seeds. "Are you sure there's a fate seed inside?" asked Lin Feng. The skeleton nodded back unceasingly. "All right, move away." Lin Feng raised his hand and condensed demon fire while the skeleton moved aside. Then, Lin Feng attacked the tree. Lin Feng was surprised though, the fire hit the tree and then disappeared immediately. An illusion. Lin Feng was guessing that it might be illusion cosmic energies. It couldn't be, that tree was definitely real. He had a familiar feeling with it. So close yet so far, indeed, I have the same feeling when I use the so close yet so far technique, thought Lin Feng. That was empty space strength. That tree was in a different space so demon fire couldn't burn it. Just like when he used the so close yet so far technique, people couldn't reach him. Empty space cosmic strength, that tree is a treasure too, thought Lin Feng. He stopped condensing demon fire as he walked to the tree. He stretched out his hand and as expected, he couldn't touch it. "Where's the fate seed and how can I get it?" whispered Lin Feng. He then released empty space abstruse energy and it seemed to condense with the tree's empty space strength. Lin Feng walked forwards and entered the tree, disappearing from sight. The skeleton smiled as Lin Feng disappeared, almost like a human being. Then, he turned around and left, not waiting for Lin Feng to come back. You're tuning in to the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.